welcome to week one of the high school football season here on 95.7 KROK. Sean Larkin with you. If you think you've heard this voice before, it was probably last night when you heard it. Sean Larkin, Mr. Mike Isles here with you from Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium. Week one, a Beauregard Parish matchup here, Mike, with the DeRidder Dragons and the visiting South Beauregard Nights. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm doing good. This has got to be a good rivalry between the Knights and the Dragons.
Yeah, the national anthem's been sung, the prayers been prayed, and now the teams meet at midfield. They are shaking hands, DeRidder in the home blues with the white pants, white helmets. Pretty good uni combo. You can see the numbers very well. And South Beauregard in the all-white. They got a clean look, white with the purple numerals, gold trim, white helmets, white pants, and DeRidder in the home blues, white numerals. Mike, we talked about this. It's been a pretty good rivalry last year. We can just go back to week one this time last year. The game at South Beauregard was real muddy. Remember the field, it's been raining all week. And South Beauregard winning that game. And we'll talk about how that kind of propelled both teams. Again, this is a South Beauregard team that was 6-4 last year in the regular season, lost in the by-district round to Bruley. But this is a game, I said it on our Gridiron Opo show Tuesday, this is a game that DeRidder kind of, it kept them from being at home in the playoffs. You know, they had to go on the road to Northwest. And it's a game where they kind of need to win because, again, same schedule, you just flip home and away. It's pretty tough. The Dragons want to return the favor here at home tonight.
Well, and it's like I told Sean, too, I think sometimes DeRidder, the football team, not the coaches, maybe not get up for this game, but for South Beauregard, this is a big game for them.
Yeah, and we talk about, I don't see why you wouldn't get up for it because, with classification numbers, I get 3A, 4A. You look across the sideline, and this has been going on for a couple of years with Coach Kellogg's team. They've got numbers, and they didn't have numbers about 4 years ago. The Hurricane really kind of wiped out that program for a couple of years. Man, they're right back where they need to be. Again, they're going to have to replace probably the most important player in the area as far as team success last year offensively and production. Christian Wold, he did everything for them. Quarterback, he ran for 1,000, he threw for 1,000. That's going to be tough to replace, but they look pretty good in their jamboree the other day, and they will get the football to start here. Week one action. Again, the Knights in all white. They're going to be going from left to right. Dragons will be kicking off to our right. And the officials at midfield. Another fun little wrinkle to this one is if week one isn't already tough enough for me, there's no clock. No scoreboard, no clock, so we'll try to figure that out along the way. We do know the hydration break is at 6 minutes. They'll put their hand up like they're sipping water, and we'll know there's at least 6 minutes left, but we will try our best to figure this out for you.
Well, Sean, at least they've got the field marked.
Field looks good, yeah. Look, we take our small victories.
Yeah. And we're glad you're here on 95.7, the radio station that believes in Dragons, the DeRidder Dragons.
Yeah, and we'll get into it a little bit more. South Beau, I did a game last year at Kinder. It was probably the most shocking result, not because of the fact that South Beau won. It was the fact the way they won. They're going to go. They're going to go quick. They like to move, tempo. We'll see with new quarterback Walker Langton if they could just keep that machine going. And, again, we will have kickoff for you as Luis Rodriguez is ready to put it on the tee.
And the thing that Dragon fans from last year, you used to hear me talk about, oh, no, not a pooch punt or kick. He kicked the ball in the jamboree last week all the way. He's got a good leg.
Yeah, and this one's going to be end over end. It's going to be fielded at about the 7-yard line up to the 15 to the 20. Weaving in and out of traffic goes Mason Richards, still on his feet, trying to get outside. He's going to be hog-tied there about the 32-yard line. That's a pretty good tackle there by Aaron Woods, but he was able to get the perimeter, and the Knights will start with pretty good field position here after a decent return. Looks like they'll start at their own 32.
Yeah, that was a good run, Sean. I know it has to be warm. I know when I got in my car at home, it was 94 degrees.
Yeah, and I told you the reason I got here a little early to set up and everything, but if I didn't, we'd be dead in here because it's so hot. It'll be Walker Langton in the pistol, and I believe that's Marcantel right behind him. He'll get the snap, and he'll give way to Marcantel and the Dragons all over that on first down. That was a pretty good play there. Amari Willis in there.
And that was good game tackling on that play. We had 3 Dragons on the tackle.
There's 8 Scott coming up, and here we go, right back to it. Langton calls for the football. Will play action fake. He's looking to throw. He'll throw it up over the top. He got a man wide open down there and overthrows him by a couple of yards. That was tight end Logan Parker. Man, he was all along, Coach.
Well, I tell you what, the Dragons, Sean, better be ready because they're coming back. They're ready to go again.
Mike, I'm telling you, they were last year. They couldn't even spot the ball in Kinder. That's how quick they go. But the problem is, it's a 3rd and long, about 3rd and 12. They'll go quick here. They'll throw the tunnel screen out over on the near side and makes a couple of guys miss out there. That's a pretty good job. That is Garrett Watkins, and Watkins has the first down. DeRidder had that sniffed out, and somehow, some way, Watkins able to convert the 3rd and 12 and move the chains.
The 2 arm tackles that time, Sean. And you just can't,
And here we go. Like we said, that's a 48, and South Beauregard ready to rock and roll. Langton hands it off. They'll go off for right guard. Nothing doing there again. A couple of runs here for nothing. That's Marcantel back there. Jacob Marcantel. They moved him from receiver to running back this year, and like that, here we go. 2nd and 9 after about a half-yard gain. Walker Langton calls for the football. He's looking left. He'll throw right. This time is going to be caught over there. This time Parker makes the catch. And here we go. I'll tell you what, if the officials ain't ready, they're going to be ran over because South Beau is ready to snap the football again. A 3rd and 3 here into Dragon territory. They'll hand it off, and nothing doing as that's going to be Paxton Romine immediately, along with Amari Willis. And it'll be interesting to see if South Beau goes quick here, maybe tries to draw them off. But it'll be a 4th down at about 5.
Well, and if you've ever played football and this is the first game, you got to be in good shape to run the ball this quick.
I'm pretty used to it. I'm from a lot of Fairview Lady Panther basketball games, and this is about how they go. So, but I'm telling you, last year during the Kinder game, I was not ready for what I was watching on the field. 4th down, big play here early in the game. They'll hand it off. Marcantel got a lot of work to do, and I don't think he got it. And that is going to be a turnover on downs. Again, nothing doing on the ground for South on that drive. The Dragons defense forces the turnover on downs.
And, Sean, that was kind of surprising that they went for it. Just inside Dragon territory at the 50, about the 49.
And DeRidder will take over at their 44.
And it's like Sean said, the clock is out.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much time is left. We'll figure that out.
We're going to be okay.
So now the DeRidder Dragons will take over, and I can promise you, Mike, that they will not be as fastly paced as the Knights, which is good for me.
Well, and Dragon fans, you'll be glad to hear this. We're running out of the shotgun.
And it is Michael Parmley.
And Parmley can throw the ball.
And he'll hand it to Connor Rushford. Again, we didn't really get to set the stage for you, but Rushford's going to have a lot of responsibility. He had a fantastic year last year. Again, him and Reed Williams kind of split time a little bit, but he ended up kind of getting the majority of the production. Well, now with Reed Williams out, for the season, unfortunately, and you lose Uriah Wade last year as well, to graduation. This is a guy that's probably going to get the bulk of the carries. He did have a score, or almost a score last week in the Jamboree. Ended up being Michael Parmley on the Philly brotherly shove type. They'll swing it out to Rushford. He crosses midfield and lowers the boom. We got a flag coming in late from the back judge. He was about the 25, but for the moment, it'll be a 1st down, and we'll see what the flag is. Again, no time on the clock, no scoreboard. It's the 1st quarter, no score. We do know that.
Well, when you've heard us before doing the Dragon football games, passing was not a word, Sean. I don't think we could spell very well.
And unfortunately, that's going to be a hold. Again, trying to swing it out to Rushford. That's going to be called back. He was able to get loose into Knight territory. Instead, they'll back up a couple of steps and still going as the referee, backing all the way up over there to the bus yard.
And really and truly, Sean, those are the kind of passes you just can't stop.
No, you get a guy out in space, and
you don't have to throw the ball 40 yards down the field every play.
So the Rushford 1st down is negated by a hold, and that'll put the Dragons back behind the chains. Second, looks like at about 20, as that was the 1st down play. They started their own 44. So now back at the 34-yard line. So, and I guess the hold was right at the line of scrimmage, so 10 yards from the spot. Unless they're going to move the football a little bit. We'll see. Could be checking the clock. There is no clock. We don't have it. They've got it down on the field.
And again, Rushford does everything for the Dragons.
Yeah, he'll taunt football. He ran, like I said, almost had him a touchdown last week, but they were able to get it inside the 5. And now Parmley in the gun. He'll hand it to Rushford. Rushford, big hole, and he's got one man to beat it. He absolutely dump trucked him, and that was a touchdown saving tackle. As again, he absolutely ran smooth over the safety, and that allowed the Knights to stop him. He didn't even get the first down, but he had one man to beat and ran him over and kind of slowed him up. And they'll go quick here. They'll give it back to Rushford, and he's not going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Good defense.
That's a pretty good tackle there. That's Hunter Ballard, one of the guys coming out of that pile, but again, man, Rushford finished the run there. So it'll be 4th and 2. It's a big play again. Dragons stop the 4th down on the Knights' opening drive. We'll see it. And Parmley nearly gets them to jump with the hard count, but both ends get back.
And Dragon fans are used to the hard count.
It's like Logan Parker, one of the ends. He starts to stretch out. They'll go to Rushford in motion. They'll swing it out to him, and he makes the catch. He's got the first down, and a chop down tackle saved more. Kenny Batchelor hit a pick 6 in that DeQuincy Jamboree last week, but it is a first down, 4th and 2. DeRidder stops the 4th down, and the Dragons offense converts their 4th and 2.
Well, after Sean and I said the Dragons would be taking a little bit longer than the Knights, we're running the ball pretty quick, too.
Yeah, they're bringing a little bit more pace than last week at the Jamboree. Parmley back in the shotgun. Rushford to his right. Play action. He's got Fairley's going to have to make a couple guys miss. He'll actually do a pretty good job to get it back past the line of scrimmage. He got it about a yard and a half. So he is just shy of 41. And look, the Dragons trying to give the Knights a dose of their own medicine. Again, no score here in the first quarter. The Knights stopped on a 4th and 4. They were in Dragon territory at the 44-yard line. Parmley gets the snap. He'll hand it to Rushford. Rushford goes through the teeth of that Knight defense. Late flag comes in. Possible face mask as Rushford's helped up by a couple of defenders. Coming out of that pile, Dawson Barrow, one of those big defensive linemen for the Knights.
And Sean looking across at the crowd over there from South Beauregard, big crowd.
Looked like the signal was either hands to the face or a face mask, but either way, it's going to go against the Knights, and not a good sign for Dragon fans as Connor Rushford will limp to the sideline, so hopefully he gets back there pretty quick. They'll make a move here, and that'll be Jaden Cooper, the sophomore, in the backfield. He got a couple of carries in the scrimmage against Sulphur. I think he might have been back there for a couple of carries last week as well. So 1st and 10, all at the 33-yard line. Parmley looks to go up top. He's got a man out there, and in and out of the hands. That was a wide open Jaden Merriweather. He got behind the secondary there and unable to hang on. That would have been a touchdown. We saw that happen a lot last week, Mike. A couple of drops that would have been touchdowns for the Dragons. Parmley put it right on the money.
Well, and Sean, he gets rid of the ball fast.
He does. The one thing I was most impressed with last week was his footwork. He was able to hang in the pocket, keep his eyes down the field. And right there, he made the right play, just unable to come up with the catch. That would have been 6. 2nd and 10. They'll swing it out to Fairley. Fairley catches it on the far sideline, makes a man miss, trying to put the brakes on, and he's still on his feet. He'll get over across the 30-yard line, maybe inside it to the 29. That'll set up a manageable 3rd down.
Yeah, he picked up about 2 more yards that he should have never gotten.
He's been dynamic so far. He's been a pretty good player. Wasn't suited up last week as he'll jog over to the sideline. 2 receivers to the near side here. As the Dragon offense looks over here, that's, I believe, number 14, Bryson Walker in the slot there to the near side. Merriweather closest to us. They'll look to the left. Merriweather catches this one on the left, spins out of a tackle. He's inside the 10, coughs up the football, but that's a good break there if you're a Dragon fan. Tough if you're the Knights, as that was fumbled out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Dragons for the 1st and goal on the catch and run. Merriweather hauled that one in, nearly scored, but it is a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
And the Dragons will be in the red zone, Tiger fans.
Near disaster.
Dragon fans, I'm thinking about LSU.
1st down, they'll hand it off. Cooper makes a couple guys miss inside the 5, reaches over, no signal yet. It looks like they're going to mark it just shy. That's a pretty good effort. And it'll be 2nd and goal for the 1. They ran the tush-push brotherly shove last week, and it looks like that's what they're running. Probably actually came out the back side. He'll do the same. He'll weave in and out and into the end zone for a touchdown. And that's quarterback Michael Parmley doing it himself. Dragons on the board first. It's 6-0. He did the same thing last week. They kind of bunched up. He's small enough to where he can kind of wiggle out of traffic and just snuck out the backside. A 1-yard quarterback sneak Caps off a pretty good opening drive for the Dragons as, again, they converted a 4th and 2 and then had a big play through the air. And they are on the board first as Luis Rodriguez lining up for the extra point.
I tell you, Dragon fans, he has a really good leg.
Snaps down, holds good, and he drills that one nearly hits the skull back there. So good opening drive for the Dragons. They lead the Knights 7-0. We'll take a break. Be right back. South Boat getting it, trailing 7-0. Listening to KROK 95.78 FM.
Cecil's Cajun Kitchen in downtown DeRidder is the place to go for seafood, steaks, and good Cajun favorites. With one of the many TVs placed all around the restaurant, you'll be sure to catch your favorite sports while enjoying drink specials to go with fried gator bites or boudin balls. Follow that with a fresh-cut certified Angus steak or some fish tacos. Lots of selections for even the pickiest little eater in your crew. Then your crew can finish up with some fresh beignets. You can even party it up on the patio on Friday and Saturday nights with live music. Cecil's Cajun Kitchen, always ready to help you have a good time.
I didn't do anything. Sorry about that.
So the opening drive for the Dragons ends in a touchdown and an extra point. Dragons lead the Knights 7-0. Each team has had a possession. And South Boat getting it for the second time. They turned it over on downs on their first drive. It was a 4th and 4. Rodriguez gets into this one. A good kick, end over end. And this will be fielded at the 10-yard line. Looking for some running room. That one brought up to the 25, I beg your pardon. This time it was Caleb Lemieux back there. And Lemieux is brought down by a host of Dragons on special teams, and it looks like the Knights will start on their own 25.
And Dragon fans, I go back to what I told you a while ago. I've never been a proponent for the push kick. And when you kick the ball to the 10-yard line, even though they may run it back a little bit, it's going to be okay.
And I believe, again, we have no clock or scoreboard. It is the hydration break. So that means there's 6 minutes left in the first quarter. We'll take a break, come back, and again, it'll be the South Bow Knights on the board again, the hydration break. So 6 minutes left here in quarter number 1. The Dragons lead 7-0. You're listening to 95.7 KROK FM.
You need a bank like a great oak tree with roots that run deep in the community and wide branching arms that give you comfort and relief knowing you're covered from the storm. Beauregard Federal Savings Bank is there for you. Their roots run so deep, they've been serving the DeRidder community ever since 1948. Their staff have been trained on the same values of quality customer service and personal treatment since the bank's founding. From loans to debit cards to IRAs, online banking, and other services, Beauregard Federal Savings Bank, 337-463-4493.
First down, tried to get it out here on a rollout. I believe that was Noah Royer, a little bit out of reach for him. So far, Langton not able to kind of get in the rhythm yet. He's misfired on a couple, but the Knights are trying to answer that DeRidder Dragons score. They turned it over on downs. If you're just joining us on their opening drive, had a 4th and 4. Second down, they'll look to throw again. Romine back there, put some pressure, and the throw's going to be lobbed up, and a lot of contact, looking for the flag. And Fairley, who almost, you want to get him away there, he might have had a little extracurricular, breaks up the pass, but again, pretty good coverage. A lot of contact, but both kind of going both ways. We do have a flag at the 50, so we'll see.
Wow.
That's actually what I thought the call would be, unsportsmanlike conduct. He was in the receiver's face, and I understand Coach Parmley's a little frustrated, but he went up and got in his face after the play was over. You can't do that.
And Dragon fans, no, I agree with Sean.
Absolutely, when the referee's right in front of you, you can't do it.
And he knows better.
Absolutely. And that's a tough one if you're, Coach Parmley, because it was a great defensive play. Now I'm going to bring up the 3rd and long instead. Unsportsmanlike conduct brings it 15 yards to the 41-yard line.
And he's a good kid. He's not a kid that usually does something like that.
No, and the only thing you could probably say is Javon was probably a little fired up, did not get to play last week.
Yep.
So it'll be a 1st and 10, a new life, and going up top, they've got a man down there wide open. Caleb Lemieux in stride, 20-10, 5, touchdown. Nice after the personal foul. South Beau goes over the top, and it is Langton to Lemieux for the touchdown. And that makes it 7-6. Point after try pending. 59 yards through the air. And Langton immediately, Coach, I keep calling you Coach like I think Coach Graje is next to me. Mike, he was wide open.
That's excellent. I mean, he just put it right there in his grasp.
Yeah, Langton.
He just outran everybody.
Langton, as soon as he hit his drop back, he was looking down the field and knew exactly where he wanted to go. They'll line up for the extra point. Snaps down. Hold is good. A low end over end. It does sneak through. So the Knights answer. It is 7-7 here sometime in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Dragons getting it next. Listening to KROK 95.7 FM.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
Breathing in the refund.
limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
So the South Beau Knights use a personal foul after the play, and unsportsmanlike conduct. It would have been a 3rd and long, or it would have set a 3rd and long after the incompletion on 2nd down. However, 15-yard penalty gave them new life, and they cashed in a 59-yard touchdown pass from Walker Langton to Caleb Lemieux. Extra point good. They're knotted up at 7 apiece here in the first quarter. Again, the scoreboard and the clock are broken. Not sure how. It's week 1. Nothing's been going on here.
Well, I think, Sean, and I can tell you that both of these quarterbacks, they have a warm.
This has a chance to be a lot of fun. Again, we hadn't really gotten into Michael Parmley's, just kind of what I thought of him last week. I talked about it on air on our Gridiron Gumbo show as South Beau will try the little popcorn on side. This could be trouble, and there's a lot of motion. There's a flag. So, wow. There's, again, the hesitation. They had a couple of kickers back there. Sam Smith. Got 2 26s out there. That's not good. But Sam Smith is one of the kickers, and we'll get into that. You talked about weapons and the kicking game. When you've got a good kicker, and South Beau brought one back, and so far so good on the DeRidder end as well. But when you can make field goals and not have to go for it in a 4th and 9, that's a pretty big advantage, as that penalty will knock South Beau back.
I definitely don't think DeRidder was ready for.
No, they weren't. They heard the whistle. So,
kick.
But again, the little popcorn kind of motion where you got 2 guys going at it, a little fake out. You got to be ready. So we'll re-rack it at the 35 after the penalty. This time they'll try to sky one over near the DeRidder sideline. It's fielded at the 40. And not much of a return. That was Castle Montgomery, I believe, number 11, and it was. So we'll see where they mark this one. And the Dragons, after an opening drive touchdown, will take over at their 39.
Well, Sean, every team is not blessed with a good kicker. In the last probably 5 or 6 years, DeRidder has really had excellent kickers.
Yeah, the kicking game is a factor. You could use it to your advantage in high school football. You don't, instead of having to go for 2 every time, you can kick extra points. You can kick field goals. You kick deep. So, second drive of the evening for Michael Parmley and his Dragons. He'll hand it off. Pretty good burst there initially. And that's Javon Fairley. We've seen him show off the burst of speed, and I know he's looking to, I don't want to keep harping on, he's looking to make amends there for that last drive.
And I know Rutherford limped off a while ago, and they worked on him, and he jumped up off the table. I thought he was going back in.
And that'll be something to monitor again, a guy that they're going to have to rely on heavily, but having Javon Fairley back helps. Again, you're right, Wade. Just a fantastic year for the Dragons last year. Second down at about 4. Parmley has the pressure bearing down on him. That was blown up immediately, and a little extra after the play there, finishing the block. One of the linemen, that's Leonard Jobert. Again, you like seeing that after the play, but a pretty good job to send some pressure there. And you would think South Bend might want to try to pressure the sophomore quarterback back there and maybe get him rattled, but last week he was able to kind of move around in the pocket in that Barb Jamboree.
Well, he was lucky to get that one off.
3rd and 4. They'll hand it to Rushford. Nice little jab step. He's across midfield at the 40. Makes the man miss and tackle from behind. But a big gain there for Connor Rushford, so he looks pretty healthy there.
Yep.
Mason Richards saves a touchdown, possibly. First down, Dragons. Big gain there.
Sean, it's just amazing the ability that Rushford has.
Ball is at the 32. Yeah, that was a great cut right there at the line of scrimmage.
And he has got afterburner. Sometimes when he gets in the open, you're not going to catch him.
And he was tackled from behind, so a touchdown is saved at the moment. Farmley in the gun, and they'll hand it back to Rushford. This time immediately hit there by that South Bow front. Shooter Swallow hadn't been able to call his name yet, but he is a 2-time All-District defensive lineman. Number 0. And you would think, Mike, that in the roster, he would be about 4'1", but he's after 86. So
I like his name, Shooter.
yeah, and no way that's his. I forgot. I think his real name, it's not Shooter, but I would go by Shooter. And you know what? It may be.
I know. Well, that's true, too.
I've seen crazier ones. Farmley drops back. He's looking to throw. Nearly had Connor Rushford, and a flag comes in late. A lot of contact. We'll see what the flag is, but Rushford kind of comes up a little gimpy there. That would have been a heck of a throw. It was right over the defender's head, but that falls incomplete for second down.
Yeah, he is limping bad.
Yeah, and what you hope right here is it's cramped.
He's also the punter.
He is. But you need him healthy, so that'll be something to monitor. And the penalty is on the Knights, so something after the play maybe, or maybe back by the line of scrimmage. Again, pretty good coverage on Connor. That would have been a nice throw. Swallow goes off for the Knights. Liam Smith comes in at linebacker, number 37. So 1st and 10. Ball at the 16-yard line. They'll hand this one off. Fairley gets a burst initially through the first level, and he gets tackled about the 12-yard line. So, again, no time on the scoreboard. The scoreboard is just
it's dark.
It's dark. No light bulbs. Second down at about 6. They'll snap it. They'll give it back to Fairley. Fairley spins inside the 10 and falls forward. Looks like he's going to get to about the 5. Dragons trying to go quick again. It's a pretty good opening drive and change here for the Dragons. They're looking to punch another one in. Again, 7-7. They took their opening drive for 6, and then South Bow just answered on their second. DeRidder trying to take the lead again. They'll hand this off and chop down. That'll be a TFL for about a yard loss. Trying to get that one to Jaden Cooper, and that will end the first quarter because there's no way they would just run over here to the sidelines as it looks like they're about to flip the field. Hold on, I'll just make sure. Nope, they're going to keep the ball right there. So we'll keep it right here because it's probably just a quick timeout. This is going to get me, Mike. This is going to be bad.
In all the ball games I've ever done, Sean, I don't think I've ever gone somewhere where the clock didn't work.
Especially not in week 1.
I know you've been to all kind of ball games before, but no, in week number 1, you got to be sure that you're checking everything out, and there's just no excuse for that.
I've been in some precarious situations. I've called some games in some weird spots, but yeah, no clock in week 1 will do it. However, it is 7-7. Again, the Knights got the football first, a couple of first downs, and then on a 4th and 4, unable to convert. That gave it to the Dragons on their own 44. They converted a 4th and 2, got it out to Connor Rushford with a nice reception, and then Rushford a long run down. And
he's still down here on the table, and they're still looking at his ankle.
He got inside the 5, did the Dragons. They tried to go with the brotherly shove down there, just like last week. Michael Parmley spun out of the fracas and got into the end zone for a 1-yard touchdown run. Right here from the 5, they'll hand it off, and Cooper is stoned yet again by that South Bow front. front, starting to kind of bow up here down inside the 10.
And Sean, this is kind of what we saw at Sulphur last week. We just ran the ball up the middle, up the middle, up the middle. And we did throw the ball, but then every now and then Connor would break one.
It looks like about second down and go from about the 6. They'll move Havens in motion, the tight end. And this time, nothing doing again. Cooper just has nothing to work with there, as there are 4 white jerseys all over Jaden Cooper. Luke Wisby, one of the defensive linemen in there.
But I'm looking down here at Rushford in there re-wrapping his ankle.
Okay, well, so unfortunately, if that's not a cramp, you know, that you want it to be a cramp, but if you're wrapping the ankle again, that could be an issue. So now, Dragons at the 9 after another negative play there on the run, trying to get it out to the edge. Big third down here again, tie game. 7-7, still in the first quarter. And the scoreboard is not on. Parmley in the gun, looking to his left. They'll fake the bubble, throw the fade round, and that'll be incomplete, but a late flag comes in. A lot of contact on the jump there, a little jump on to Merriweather, and he tried to go through the contact. Flag came in late, and for South Bow, that's kind of a tough break there, is again trying to kind of throw the fade route there to Merriweather, and that's going to be pass interference, and that'll give the Dragons the first down. So instead of 3rd and goal for the 9 incomplete, Dragons will have a new set of downs here to try to punch it in. It gets 7-7. And could it be, Mike, end of the quarter?
I don't know.
Maybe they're showing 5 seconds, 4. I don't know what's happening. We don't have a clock, folks. But Coach Parmley is beside himself over here. It is 7-7 sometime in the first quarter, and we've got to be getting close to the end of the quarter. As the officials all over the place. I mean, look at this. So it's actually going to not be a first down because the penalty yardage isn't enough, apparently. So it's not an automatic first down. That was the confusion.
But Sean, how could it not be a first down?
Look, I'm worried about the clock. I'll have to get that explanation. It said it's 3rd and goal for the 5. They'll throw that bubble slant again, and that time, that was a lot of contact there, and that'll be a flag. So eventually, maybe a first down will happen if you keep throwing it into the end zone. That's Alex back.
They got to get there sooner or later.
He kind of wrapped around Merriweather on that slant, and there was way more contact, I'll say, than there was on the previous play. But again, I think what it is, Mike, is it's possible half the distance to the goal. I think that's why the first down doesn't happen.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, it's still 3rd down, and this time instead of on the 5, they're on the 2.
Well, I know in college, if you interfere in the end zone, they put it on the 3.
I think they put it on the goal line in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it'll be another 3rd down for the 3rd time, and before we do that, we are going to flip sides, and it is the end of the first quarter. So little entertaining start to the 2025 season, a little wild, but we are knotted up at 7 apiece between the South Beauregard Nights and the Dragons. The Dragons will get it facing a 3rd and goal from the 3 when we come back. KROK 95.7 FM. We'll take a minute break.
This is Derek Abel with Autoplex 2000 and Moss Bluff on Highway 171. It's back to school time here in the Lake area. Need a vehicle for that new driver or to carpool with the kids from the neighborhood? We have what you need at prices you won't believe. Now is the perfect time to buy to get back in the swing of school with Autoplex 2000. Why dream it when you could drive it? Come to Moss Bluff Autoplex 2000 where dreams come true. Or you can visit us online at goautoplex.com.
South Bow Hardware and Supply, located at 12707 Highway 171 in Longville, is the local place you trust when you have a project and you require only the best in lumber, building materials, plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, and so much more. They know the value in local support, and South Bow Hardware is proud to show their support for the South Bow Knights and the Lady Knights as they charge their way to the championships. That's South Bow Hardware and Supply. Come get what you need today.
Touchdown. And it actually wasn't the end of the quarter. This is just a complete disaster here. So the third down of the series here in a row, third down play in a row, ends up in a touchdown. Javon Fairley hits the handoff and takes it into the end zone. A 3-yard rushing touchdown for Javon Fairley. So he does make amends for that penalty there on the previous drive and punches it in. Again, this is tough to do without a game clock. Extra point is good. And the Dragons, after their straight third down play of the series, punch it in and now lead 14-7 over the Knights. Take a 30-second break, come back. Knights getting it. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and the Beauregard Parish Library invites you to discover how a single card can open the door to endless opportunities. With a library card, you can do so much more than check out books, from free classes and job resources to homework help and much more. Having a library card brings endless possibilities for everyone. The card is free, easy, and empowering. Stop by any Beauregard Parish Library location to sign up for your card today, because with a Beauregard Parish Library card, the possibilities are truly endless.
And drive, they lead the Knights 14-7. South Beau getting the football. This will be the Knights' third drive of the evening. And Rodriguez puts a boot into this one, and it will be caught at the 8. That's Lemieux across touchdown. He's looking to get to the outside, and he is there with a convoy. He's at the 40, 45, 50. He's going to be rolled out of bounds. Pretty good return there. So a good return there from Lemieux.
I think finally when we end up at the end of the quarter, we don't have anybody.
Well, South Beau's still going from left to right on your radio down there. Start from their own 49. So, again, Walker Langton gets the snap. He'll pitches it out. Marketel puts his foot in the dirt, cuts it back against the grain, and crosses midfield into Dragon territory. He'll go down about the 45, 44-yard line. And Langton hooked up with his receiver, Caleb Lemieux, on the previous drive for a 59-yard touchdown pass. Second down. Dragons bring a little pressure, and that will force quarterback Langton to just kind of throw that one out of bounds and bail out of there. So pretty good pressure applied. Now to bring up about a 3rd and 4.
I guess they had one receiver out there because I didn't see anybody else.
No, that's a pretty good play call there. They sent the pressure from the other side, and it got through because, again, everybody kind of flooded here to the near sideline. Bunch formation to the far sideline. Now, I think Lampton, the receiver, he is way out here on the near side. They'll pitch it to Marketel. He's got some space out there. He gets the first down into deeper into Dragon territory. He'll go out of bounds, so a quick little pitch to the outside. And, Mike, I'm not going to lie to you, this window is fogging up.
Yeah, we may need to do something with the air.
Yeah, I think we might.
Turn it off for a little bit.
That'll work, because it's going. And South Beau going quick. They're not in the AC. They're trying to get out of here. They'll motion Marketel out here to the near side. They'll pitch the reverse counter inside the Lemieux. It makes a couple of guys miss, but the Dragons did a good job of staying home there on the misdirection. As they'll tackle it, it'll be a minimal gain. Maybe a yard if he got anything.
Yeah, that was good defense by the Dragons.
Pretty little nifty play design there. They sent Marketel over and kind of just a little reverse pitch to Lemieux, and Dragons sniffed it out. There's no way we're still in the first quarter. There's no way. We got a flag down out there. I can see that.
I told Sean when we get to the end of the quarter, we're not going to tell y'all.
And maybe not. Maybe they're just going to go the same way every time. So it's second down out there. But again, yeah, this window, I wasn't going to tell you because it felt pretty good in here.
About 20 below zero.
Yeah, no, I had it. It was colder than a penguin's toenails in here. Well, the flag will be on the Dragons.
Wow.
After kind of sniffing that play out, didn't see a signal, but that's going to march it. Had to be maybe a face mask or something because they are still going. They'll tack on 15 yards, and it looks like the football is going to be spotted. 18-yard line. So into the red zone go the Knights, trying to answer the touchdown. Again, they trail 14-7. Dragons have scored on both of their drives.
Well, Sean, I swear I think we've got more light in the end zone than we've had, because usually they get the ball down there and you can't see anything.
Yeah, it looks pretty good out there.
Looks good.
I think last year I was here and you couldn't really see.
No.
It just kind of disappear out there. So again, this is probably the slowest tempo South Beau's going to run all night, as it's kind of standing around out there and waiting on the reset. I mean, I just don't believe that this. So it'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct on the Dragons. That's the call by the White Hat. That's what pushed it 15 yards deeper in, and now 1st and 10 from the 18. The Knights go. They'll motion Lemieux out, and they'll look that way. They'll throw this one into the end zone, and that one intercepted. Javon Fairley's going to take that one out, and he's at the 10. He's looking to run. That one's going to come back here. Flags everywhere, but he is at the 40. He may take this one to the crib, and he's got one man chasing him, and he's not going to be caught into the end zone. That'll be 100+, but the flag back here at the 15 might be a block in the back, as everybody on South Beau's offense is pointing in the other direction. It's obviously going to be, I think, an interception. They were trying to get the football down there to Lampton in the end zone. Kind of fluttered up into the air, and Fairley just high-pointed the football, and he was looking for paint. And they'll have to make that long back. So the 104-yard interception return is probably going to be negated by some sort of block in the back here around the 10, 15-yard line. But it will be an interception, I believe, for the Dragons.
They'd be giving me oxygen if I'd have run that far.
Yeah, and you can't tell him to stop.
No.
Because, again, you don't know what the flag's going to be on, but Fairly able to weave in and out of traffic and take that one all the way. That was at least 100 yards, as he was halfway to the back of the end zone.
I'd say about 103. No, we've been laughing about the time on the time on the clock, but it's 7:30, and the quarter doesn't last 30 minutes, and there really hadn't been that much stoppage.
So the block in the back will negate the pick six. That would have put the Dragons up 20-7 with a point after pending. Again, Fairley goes 103 yards. So he's made an impact here. Scored the touchdown on the previous drive and was looking to get in there from the other side of the football. And instead, it'll be DeRidder football, I believe, at the 8.
And Connor is still stretched out on the table, Sean.
And he's actually got his cleat off, Mike, as Farmley looking to take a shot here deep, and that one underthrown and picked off, and the Knights will get it right back.
Wow.
Again, I like the play call. Micah Dupree goes and catches that one a little bit underthrown. He had Merriweather down there with a step. Farmley, again, I do not hate that call at all, because you could usually get them napping right after the turnover, but back-to-back plays with interception will give it right back to the Knights. And that'll be in the Dragon territory at the Dragon 37. Flags fell out of somebody's pocket here. That flag's going every play. So the Knights dodge a bullet there as Dragons looking to deliver maybe a early knockout punch, and that one's going to be incomplete. They were trying to get Royer over there on the slant route. No, Roy, that's a big kid, Coach.
That's okay.
Coach Hiles.
I've done a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, that's Noah Royer out there. I believe Coach is a sophomore. I'm just going to call you Coach all night. I don't care.
That's okay.
I got to get ready.
I've been called worse things
I
than
call
that.
Coach Cryer, Coach Grande, Coach all the time. So I say Coach about 100 times during that broadcast. Royer is not a sophomore. He's a senior. I beg your pardon. Thought I saw sophomore on my sheet here. Wait a minute. Could it be? Could it be? And I believe we're going to move the football. The end of the first quarter is here. Maybe not a timeout. I think we have finally reached the end of the first quarter. The Dragons lead the Knights 14-7. Pretty entertaining opening quarter of the season. We'll take a break, come back in 30 seconds. You're listening to 95.7 KROK.
Some call it over-planning. At Shawson Gas, we call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. Nothing beats the sweet satisfaction of knowing you'll have power where and when you need it most. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac generators are permanently installed and can power your whole house or just the essentials. And with Mobile Link, a remote monitoring system, you can check the status of your generator from anywhere at any time. So while the rest of the block is lighting candles and digging around looking for flashlights, you'll be ready to rock and roll. Get to know America's favorite home standby generator and show the power grid who's boss. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Be prepared this hurricane season and call Shawson Gas at 337-239-2719 to get in line for your new Generac home standby generator. Financing available. Shawson Gas, located at 1107 South 5th Street in Leesville. Ask about their monitoring services for generators and propane tanks.
To the tight end Parker, and Parker nearly had him a touchdown in the first quarter, but a good open field tackle there holds him to a minimal gain, but a decent gain. And this will be fourth down. Again, the Knights 0 for 1 on fourth down. Looks like about a 4th and 2. They'll rush off some guys, sub some guys in. A couple of linemen. Looks like Shooter Swallow down there getting in a stance. He plays defense. They'll go heavy, and Marcatel is fighting, and I think he might be short again. Dragon sideline thinks the same, and it'll come down to a measurement maybe. Everybody on the Dragon sideline thinks he's short. I think he might be short by about a half a length of a football.
I agree with you.
And the South Bow offense is headed to the sideline, and that'll be a turnover on down. So they try to go quick. They bring the heavy package out, and they'll start the second quarter there with a quick pass and then a turnover on downs.
Good defense that time by your Dragons.
So the Dragons defense has come up with 2 fourth down stops. If you're South Bow, you have not been able to run at the teeth of this Dragon defense at all. I mean, it's maybe 2 yards.
And Sean, that was like 4th and 3. That's hard to pick up running the ball.
So Dragons at 27. Parmley will take over again. We had 2 straight interceptions, one by South Bow, and then Parmley trying to take a shot. He throws one as well, but back out there, no harm done. They'll hand this one off, and Jaden Cooper spins out of a tackle initially, but hanging on for dear life and waiting on a teammate. Tackle is made there. And
Dragons fans, if you're just now joining us and wondering where Connor Rushford is, he's on the sidelines with...
he's got his ankle taped, eyes up, wrapped, cleat off. But look, we'll talk about it here after this second down. It's like about 2nd and a long 6. Parmley's going to hand this one off to Fairley. He's got him a rushing touchdown. He's stoned immediately there. Minimal gain, maybe a yard, but we had talked about it. You know, he's got his ankle wrapped up in the ice and the cleat off. But if you're DeRidder, you're cool with him sitting on the sideline if you're able to keep this game, you know, keep the lead and continue to move the football like you have. Obviously, you'd rather have him out there than not, but you can find some time here. It's a luxury to maybe get some of these other guys some run here.
Right.
Because you're going to need Connor Rushford a lot, and it's week 1. You can't wear him down here and bring him out there even if there's a thought of an injury possibly. Parmley in the gun, 3rd down and 6. No pressure comes. He's able to get this one out of space and just out in front of Fairley, incomplete. Fairley would have had to make a cut, get to the first down, but just out of the reach. That was Heath Crater into coverage there. He kind of got him a mismatch on the linebacker inside, and it'll be 4th down, and the Dragons, we'll see who they send back there to punt. Should be interesting because it's usually Connor Rushford.
Well, then Connor is always deep on the...
Looks like Aaron Woods back there, and he'll take the gloves off and go back there to receive the punt. And this is opening week of the high school football season. Good snap, holds clean, and that's a pretty good punt end over end there. And it's going to take a Dragons bounce. Picked up on a hopping and fumble, ball's loose. We'll see who got on it. Looks like the Dragons have it. And they do, and coming out of that pile, trying to see who it is. Grant Cooper plays a little linebacker safety, and this time on special teams, get down there making a play, and the Dragons in business will take over.
Well, then, Sean, the Knights made a mistake. He tried to feel that thing on his head.
On a wicked hop.
Yeah, man, that's not good. It's better just let her hit the ground and roll.
So new line for the Dragons into night territory.
38 yard line.
Yeah, Mike, I'll tell you one even worse that I saw last night. And that was a tough, it's obviously a fieldable one, but it's a wicked. Probably going to take a shot here. They throw it to Merriweather. He makes the catch, shakes the defender, still on his feet inside the 5, and he's going to be dropped just shy of the goal line. Again, he had coverage all over him, and he was dragging defenders left and right. First and goal, Dragons. And Michael Plumlee doing a C down there in the red zone.
Yeah, he put that thing right on the money, Sean.
Dragons looking to cash in here, leading 14-7, and they'll wind it to go quick. Fairley gets the handoff, fighting it forward, still pushing, and no signal by either line judge, and now coming in late, touchdown Dragons. Again, the signal late had to pull bodies off the pile, and the Dragons cash in 2 plays on the turnover. It is 20-7.
We haven't seen a real true passer. I do know that Portland went to the Manning passing clinic down in Thibodaux at Nichols State this summer, and I'm sure that helped him out. As I told Sean, I'm up here rubbing elbows with him, and you go somewhere and you're rubbing elbows with some of the top quarterbacks in the country.
Absolutely. Extra point is good. Dragons now lead at 21-7. We'll take a break. Nice getting it back. We're listening to KROK 95.7 FM. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Are you paying your bank to hold your money? If so, it's time to make the switch to a bank with totally free checking. Sabine State Bank offers free checking with no fees, no minimum balance, no balance requirements, no analysis fees, and we still include check images in your statements without a fee. There is even a free small business account. If you really want free checking, stop by one of our convenient 45 locations. Sabine State Bank. Our goal, your future success. Member FDIC.
Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, where the Dragons have opened it up a little bit to cash in on the second night's turnover of the game. And when we get to halftime, we'll talk about the Golden Knights leaving a lot on the table here. They've been a little sloppy. They've turned it over on downs, unable to convert a couple of fourths, had an interception, and just recently the punt was fielded and fumbled. Grant Cooper with the recovery, and the Dragons 2 plays later set up by a big gain, a 33-yard catch and run by Merriweather, and Fairley punched it in from 5 yards out. Kickoff by Rodriguez, so at the 10. Looks like Lemieux even in and out of traffic, and he is brought down. I believe that's Cooper. Jaded Cooper, not Grant Cooper this time. Eric Hall in there as well.
The Knights have moved the ball. It's just when it got down to 4th down, it was just more Jordan Sean than they could pick up.
Yeah, the problem has been in the run game, and that's where they tried to convert both of them.
Right.
And it is not
happening.
There's nothing there. So the Knights are there on 25, trailing by 2 scores. The pitch is fumbled, but falling on his Marketel, and he's able to recover. That could have been near disaster there. The Dragons would have been in business yet again. But again, it's here the Knights. You left some opportunities on the table.
But they were running a formation that they had 3 wide receivers all standing side by side.
Langton sees the pressure. He'll set his feet. He'll throw one up top. He's got a couple of guys down there. A lot of contact. Looking for the flag as Lemieux. He's not going to get one. There was just so many bodies there at midfield. Everybody running into everybody. And again, looking up at the football, so that falls incomplete. Lemieux's been the recipient of a deep ball already, a 59-yard touchdown. And look, the offensive line's already set. They're ready to roll. 3rd and about 15, 16 here. I somehow, some way need to convert it. This could get really ugly. They'll move Lemieux in motion in the orbit. They'll swing it back this way. The catch is made over there. And a good open field tackle. That was, I believe, Mekhi Rubin that caught the football, but he was swarmed by a host of Dragons there and well short of the first down. And the Knights will have to punt this one away. Again, no clock over there to my left. It's been broken all game, and so we early called the first quarter about 4 times, Mike. But Dragons do lead 21-7. The offense has looked pretty good. Again, very aggressive here in the early part of 2025.
And that's what Connor on the bench.
Again, if you're joining us late, Connor Rushford pretty banged up a couple of times, and finally the last one hurt the ankle, and back there to receive that punt, that was Daniel Mazik, and wow. Honestly, he probably should have backed up his field as it takes a South Bow roll all the way back to the 20. He got to let it go over his head, a low liner. Yeah, that had a chance to be returned, and now you can tell on the sideline there, telling him, hey, maybe back up the field down when you had some running room.
Yeah, because he was standing at his own 40.
Yeah, it was such a low liner. It went over his head. There was nobody down the field.
And then working the ball into 20. And that was their first punt of the ball game.
It was, because they've actually gone for it on fourth twice and not converted. So the Dragons, again, they are at their own 22, and they are looking to blow this one wide open here, leading 21-7. Much better response than last season, or in this game than last year. But again, different conditions, different teams. But you think about this if you're one of the returners. You know, one of the returning players. You come back, you want to win the season opener. You definitely want to win your home opener. Conley in the gun. They'll hand this one off and bouncing off of a linebacker's Cooper and into the clear. He'll be tripped up at about the 40. Jaden Cooper picks up a first down, a big chunk there for the Dragons. Again, doing all this without Connor Rushford. He is on the sidelines with his ankle wrapped up in some ice. And if you're Coach Palmley and the Dragons and Rushford, you're pretty excited about where this is going because you can rest up and watch the rest of the offense operate here. At the 39-yard line, Dragons going from left to right. Palmley, a little play action. They'll throw the little tunnel screen, but to Montgomery, he's got a host of blockers, and he is in the clear at the 40, 45, 30, 35. He's tackled from behind. Inside the 25, down at about the 22-yard line, and the Dragons on the move yet again. Mason Richards saved the touchdown.
Well, then, Dragon fans, those of you who've listened to me for years, I've always said you don't have to throw the ball 40 yards down the field. You can, throw it in the flat, throw a screen pass, throw a little slant, and really and truly, that's what Michael's doing, but he's also throwing it deep. He's been very successful.
He's taken some shots here, and Palmley, again, just a sophomore, but I was very impressed last week, especially with the footwork and keeping his eyes down the field, and if the pocket kind of broke down on him, he was able to just move around and find some space. That time he just flipped the little screen down here to Montgomery, and he had three big bodies in front of him. First down for the Dragons, low snap, and that's a pretty smart play there by Jaden Cooper, another sophomore, to just fall on it and try to, instead of picking it up and maybe making something out of nothing there, but a negative play will back the Dragons up about 5 yards. 2nd and 15, so they'll call it about a 4-yard loss there. Dragons look back to the sideline. Again, they lead the Knights 21-7.
Castle would have made his grandfather, Charlie Montgomery, proud. In fact, I didn't know Castle could run that fast.
Yeah, Coach, he plays catcher.
Yeah.
The catchers don't run. He's out at receiver. And that'll be a timeout by the Dragons. I believe that's their second of the evening. We'll take a 30-second break with them again on the move, leading 21-7 over the Knights. You're listening to KROK 95.7 FM.
Sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Okay, you've heard that one before. The proof is people leaving the chiropractic clinic with a little higher step in their walk, a broader smile, and generally feeling better after treatments from Dr. James Jenkins. From an auto accident to years of discomfort, Dr. Jenkins and feeling better is only a phone call away at 337-463-7313. Even the initial consultation is free. Living without pain, priceless. Better quality of living is an appointment away at the Chiropractic Clinic, 304 North Pine Street in DeRidder.
Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, Sean Martin, Mr. Mike Isles with you. To my right, we are here at Cecil Doyle Week 1. Games got going last night, and a full slate tonight, maybe even some tomorrow, I believe, around the state.
I think, Sean, they're still having a hard time finding referees, aren't they?
They are. That's why games are on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So if you think you're good, or at least from what I hear doing all these games, I hear some of the parents think they are, you always sign up. So Palmley on the 2nd and 14 will hand this one off, and Stone for a moment is still on his feet. Cooper takes a defender with him. A 5-yard gain there. Tackle made by Dartez. He hung on for dear life. Initially, Stone there was Jaden Cooper, but he fell forward and fought for some extra yardage. That'll set up a 3rd and 10. and the Dragons lead the Knights 21-7. We got a whistle and a stoppage of play. We'll see what's going on there. And this could be the hydration break. We'll keep it right here. But, yeah, I always hear it, and I'll shout him out because he does a really good job at getting referees to cover basketball and umpires in the area. Mr. Will Norris, he says, if you think you can do a better job, he's got $52 in his pocket for you. You can go sign up, and he'll put you as a referee. All you got to do is ask. And that's the thing. The official shortage is a real thing. There's a lot of factors involved. One of them, obviously, is parents, as people don't understand. They're out there doing a job, and without them, we wouldn't have football on Fridays and Thursdays and Saturdays.
Well, that's just like watching the Little League World Series, and you think about all of those umpires are doing that for free, and volunteer, and that's really a neat thing to do.
Yeah, and look, they do get paid, but you're volunteering your weekends and nights to have an opportunity for these kids to get out here and play. As the Dragons will now face a 3rd and 10, again going from left to right. Ball at the 22-yard line of the Knights, so Dragons trying to add on again to a 21-7 lead. They played pretty crisp here on offense so far. Parmley gets the snap, hands off to Fairley. Fairley makes man miss, follows his blocker inside the 10, the 5, touchdown, Dragons. Javon Fairley for the 3rd time for number 3 on the back of the jersey. The Dragons 27, the Knights 7. They've opened it up. A 22-yard touchdown run for Javon Fairley.
I've always compared Connor Rushford. He just runs over you, and Fairley, he just needs like a little crack in the line to get through.
Had a little hesitation move there and waited for the block to kind of develop, and then, again, nobody going to catch him in the second level. Dragons line up for the extra point. Rodriguez been good. Low snap, good hold, and that one is drilled and good. Again, the snap kind of rolled up to the holder, pretty clean hold, and the kick is through. Dragons now lead the Knights 28-7. We'll take a 30-second break. South Bow getting it, needing a score. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
When Beauregard Electric Co-op powered up in 1939, its focus was on the future, always looking for better, more effective ways to supply electricity to our friends and community. In addition to this, supporting our local schools and students became key, as we know they would continue to fuel our future. Now, 85 years later, Beauregard Electric is still powering your life and continuing those traditions and morals. Beauregard Electric Co-op wishes all athletes a safe and successful football season.
KROK South Fort Polk.
The DeRidder Dragons looking like a well-oiled machine. Javon Fairley wears number 3. He's got 3 touchdowns. As a matter of fact, he's got 3 straight touchdowns. And it's all coming with Connor Rushford on the sidelines, nursing an ankle injury, but it's been a little bit of Jade Cooper. It's been Javon Fairley, the beneficiary of the touchdowns, but a little bit of everybody. We also saw a couple of big plays out of Jaden Merriweather, and again, the quarterback, sophomore Michael Parmley, looked pretty good.
Yeah, the Dragons have done, Sean, really and truly as good as they could do. They've used everything.
Yeah, there's been one blemish, and it's the turnover. But again, I told you I love the play call. It was right after an interception. You go for the shot play, just a tad underthrown, and then they got it back and punched it in. And now on the kickoff return, that one's going to be swarmed. Nice tackle there. Matthew Thompson, in a flash, able to make the tackle inside the 20. That looked like it was going for a while. But on the tackle, Thompson puts the Knights deep in their own territory. And, Mike, they're getting to a point where they need a score. 28-7. This was a team that moved the ball well last year and has moved it in this game. They just kind of self-destructed on 4th and short and a couple of turnovers, mainly in special teams. Now they'll throw the slant. That one caught, and that's a great catch and run over the middle, and a massive hit there at the end.
Slobberknocker.
Makai Rubin makes the catch this time, and quickly go the Knights. Again, clock doesn't work. Scoreboard is off here at Cecil Doyle, but we are in the second quarter. But again, a sense of urgency here, down 21. They'll hand it off to Markendale. He has just not been able to get going. And minimal gain here, but it might be enough. Let's see. And
they'll pick up a couple, but that's about all.
They will flip it for a first down, but I can promise you the chain gang ain't ready. And if you're South Bow, you're pretty frustrated about that because the ref's standing over the football. You're ready to go. Langton looking to throw. He'll throw this out to Lemieux. He's got a touchdown. This time just a quick hitter there, and we got a flag.
That was slow development.
And I guess it's some chirping going on with Reuben and one of the guys on the sideline. That came in late after the catch was made by Caleb Lemieux. Pretty interesting because Reuben was not really into the play, and he was talking over to somebody on the sideline, and they launched a flag up, and now the rest will get together. In the Knights down 28-7 after a decent gain on first down. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot here and go backwards, but we'll see. Flag was thrown to the near sideline, and that is in the direction of the Dragons coaching staff and Mekhi Rubin, so we'll see where
I know the man in the white hat is the one that gives the signal.
Yeah.
He hadn't figured out what he's going to signal, I don't think.
I mean, if it's some jawing back and forth, you may offset the penalties, and it was after the play was over. Face mask.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's not what I thought we were calling, but you know what I think might have happened? There's the unsportsmanlike. Never mind.
Yeah.
So Reuben is involved in some of the fray. It was after, so I think what he was probably jawing at the sideline for was he was wanting the face mask. And then the Dragons sideline wanted to have a little say-so, and now Reuben will make the jog off as they'll probably give him a good talking to here. They'll split Royer out. He's got a mismatch. He's waving, trying to get his quarterback or somebody's attention, saying, I've got man-on-man with no safety in sight. Throw it up. He is gigantic out there. And it's Merriweather on, but he's got to be licking his chops here. Merriweather's, again, he's a decently sized guy, but Royer's an absolute tank out here. Again, there's no safety up top. It's single safety over the middle, and it's man-to-man on the edge. And now they'll spot the football after the penalty is marked off. And look, Royer's trying to get somebody's attention. Here he is. He's going to be jammed up by Merriweather. We'll see if they go this way. I would. They'll try to go slant. That one high over the middle, incomplete. They do look away from the big tight end Royer, flexed out here, and over the middle, incomplete. I believe that was the other tight end, Parker, number 6, I believe, either 6 or 8.
Well, as Dragon fans, it's amazing what you can see from the press box that you can't see at field level.
Well, Mike, if you think about it, the parents say they can see everything.
Yeah, I know.
They criticize the coaches and all that. They'll throw the tunnel screen on the backside, got some blockers, lowering his shoulder is Lemieux. He's down. He'll get the original penalty yardage back. But I believe that's going to be a 4th down. Or 3rd down. And it's 3rd down. That was a quick flip of the down marker there. But 3rd and 10. The Knights kind of need this one. Lincoln pocket breaks down on him. Some pressure by the Dragons, and they'll make him bail out of there. He goes down near the Knights sideline. The South Bow wants a flag. They'll get one late. Again, the Dragons applied the pressure. I believe that's Amari Willis out there that was bearing down on the quarterback. But the flag comes in after a couple of coaches on the Knights sideline begging for the laundry, and they get it. So we'll see what this call is. And if you're the Dragons, you hope it's not, maybe a late hit out of bounds. And it looks like it's going to be a face mask on the Dragons, so they were correct in asking for the call. Tough break as you made a nice play there to stretch that out, and Lincoln unable to make the throw.
Yeah, they were behind.
It was going to be 4th and 10 or worse, but now it'll be a 1st down. So a couple of times the Knights with some new life. They cashed in on a deep touchdown pass the last time. This time it'll be a 1st down run, probably the best run of the game there, about 7-8 yards. Marcantel hadn't been able to breathe back there. He
drug about 5 Dragons with him that time.
But he's been hit at the first level immediately. That time he gets into the second and makes it pay. Gets it right back, and this time is nothing doing. Grant Cooper out of that pile. And a couple of other Dragons as well, I believe. That's 40 right there. That's Jace Jackson. I think that's 40. And we got a flag out here. And that's to the near sideline here. That's Watkins, I believe. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Garrett Watkins. There's 2 15s. That's probably Mekhi Rubin. I'm sorry.
I didn't see anybody move.
Well, it was on the receiver for flinching. That's why it was down here near the near sideline.
I was watching the line of scrimmage.
I think that's Garrett Watkins. That's not Rubin. I'm sorry. There's 2 15s on this roster, Mike. This is just... We'll get through this broadcast.
We're going to make it.
You would think I'd be a little bit sharper than I was after having a game last night, but it's still week 1 for me. Get out of it for... Well, football's been since December. So 3rd down and about 8. And going deep is Langton. He's got a man down there, and that one a little underthrown. Fairly intercepted it, and it tipped up, and the catch is made. Pretty good fortune by Lemieux there, as Fairley nearly had his second pick of the game. He actually had it, was trying to come down with it, and it popped right out of his hands. Caleb Lemieux, right place, right time, and the Knights, a little lucky there. They'll cash in. They'll take it down 28-7, a first down. The chain's moving. They're ready to go.
Barry can't tell you how much time's left till halftime because we don't know.
Oh, a little busted play here, and Langton's just going to have to throw that one out of bounds. He gets popped. That was Grant Cooper.
He could have thrown it to the little man here in the flat, too,
yeah,
and he didn't.
He had Cooper bearing down on him. That's easier said than done when he was downhill, and he gave him a little remember me shot. But again, if you're the Dragons, you got to be kicking yourself. The interception turns into a big gain, and if you're South Bow, you hadn't had much go your way. You could take them however you get them. 2nd down, they'll hand it off. And instead, it'll be a keeper. Langton keeps it on the read option and all forward for a couple. Inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. And again, the clock doesn't work, so we've got to be near the halfway point.
And, you know, Sean, when you look down there on the field, it looks like everybody is going to the right. And I say that, now they'll come to the sideline.
And it'll be a timeout by South Bow. We'll take a 30-second break with them again. The Knights trail the Dragons 28-7. They need a score. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
It's fall on the Bend, the perfect time to enjoy the great outdoors on Toledo Bend. Sabine River Authority invites you to head to Toledo Bend. Enjoy waterfront cabins at Cypress Bend Park or RVing at Pleasure Point and San Miguel Parks. There's plenty to do along Louisiana's largest waterway. Fish, boat, swim, and barbecue. Sabine River Authority, managing Louisiana's recreation destination. And this holiday season, plan a visit to Cypress Bend Park for festive holiday lights along the Bend. Sabine River Authority brings Toledo Bend to life.
They'll have it trailing 28-7, trying to get a little bit closer to the Dragons, trying to keep them out of the end zone here. Would have had an interception out of a crazy play there. Instead, it'll be the Knights. They'll run a screen, and it's set up well, but a nice job. The Dragons sniffed that out.
Yeah, excellent defense by your Dragons.
Yeah, that was Marcus Marsh, the D-tackle. He saw every white jersey going down the field. He stayed home, and if he wouldn't have, that might have been a walk-in touchdown from Marcantel. 4th down, South Bow, tip pass, intercepted, and this one's coming back the other way. Barely looking for some running room, and it'll be right out of bounds. His helmet comes off, and a flag comes in. It'll be a 15-yard gain, and Fairley should have 3 interceptions. That's his 2nd interception on the drive. This time, he comes down with it, and the Dragons will take over after another turnover on downs by the Knights. This one ends in an INT. So, again, a tip ball in the air. They were trying to go over the middle, tried to go quick. Javon Fairley gets his helmet ripped off, and it wasn't a face mask because he grabbed him out of the ear hole there, but I don't think you can do that either. So they might add on to this interception return.
Yeah, Fairley is having a career night. He's done a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, you talking about the face mask? Yeah.
The coach is not. He wasn't happy with the rest of the
Yeah, well, they're moving. Personal foul. So it will be a face mask on the Knights. Yeah, the helmet came off, but could have had the underneath the earpiece evidence dead. That regardless, it would have, after the interception. So the Dragons will take over on their own 34.
I think he's going to cut it loose.
They're looking to put the nail in the coffin here. They'll hand it off, and that is Jaden Cooper, and Cooper with a big gain nearly gets the first down. He is right at the marker. I think he's going to have it.
First down, Dragons.
So again, another turnover, another fourth down gone awry for the Knights, who were moving into Dragon territory, but the DeRidder defense, another turnover. Javon Fairley doing his best Travis Hunter impression tonight. All over the place. Farmley in the gun. Moves Havens in motion, the H-back. They'll hand us off. This time the Knights are up to the challenge. So they did give the first down, actually, on the previous play. It was 2nd and 1, and that'll be 3rd and a little more, and that one tackle for loss. Howard Artez, we've called his name a couple of times tonight. He's made a couple of tackles in the backfield. We don't know, again, how much time's left because the clock doesn't work. The scoreboard is broken. The Dragons do lead at 28-7, and, Mike, they will get the football, start the third quarter. So trying to add on and go for the double here. I hand it off to Cooper, and he is wrapped up. He'll get about a yard. That'll bring up 4th. And if you're the Dragons, I don't think you go aggressive here. You just pin them deep, because you will be getting the football to start the second half. But who knows? Everything's kind of gone right for you here tonight. You might get a little aggressive. It's about 4th and 3. Now you're about to get to the 44. See if they maybe go with a hard count. Try to get a cheap one. They do, and into the neutral zone. Go shoot or swallow, but everybody pointing at everybody. We'll see.
And Dragon fans, if you listened to us before, you know that's one of our favorite plays.
This would be a big blow. If you're South Bow, that would move it enough to get a first down. It's 4th and 3. That would be enough for 5. And the officials will get together, so we'll see.
They're going to penalize DeRidder.
And they do. Illegal.
I tell you, the left side move, Sean.
And maybe that's what coaxed Swallow into the neutral zone. Again, he's a pretty good player there. A couple all-district first-team awards, so he knows what he's doing right over the ball. He moves when the ball moves. So instead of 4th and 3, it'll be about 4th and 8. And again, the situation here is Connor Rushford, your normal punter, is on the sideline. Obviously, he's been banged up since the first quarter. Aaron Woods did hit a pretty good punt there, and his only punt so far. And I think what DeRidder's doing is just going to maybe bleed this clock a little bit here on 4th down. Again, they'll get the ball to start the second half as Connor starts to kind of gingerly walk over here on the sideline, but he don't look like he's going back in there tonight. And if this leads 28-7, I'd probably take his pads at halftime as well, so he doesn't sneak out there. Timeout Dragons. We'll take a 30-second break with them. They'll be punting after this. South Bow trying to get back into this when they're trailing 28-7 on KROK 95.7.
It's common knowledge that Morris Tire serves the Leesville and DeRidder area for all of your tire needs. Did you also know that Morris Tire can handle your vehicle maintenance needs when it comes to brakes, oil, shocks, suspension, and alignments? 2 locations to better serve you. Take advantage of Morris Tire's quality care. Whether you live around Leesville or DeRidder, Morris Tire Service in DeRidder now has a brand new state-of-the-art alignment machine and a certified alignment tech. Stop in today and let Morris Tire take care of your alignment needs.
Back here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, and they will send the punter out. That was kind of a precarious situation. Woods is out there. He gets the snap. Good snap. They send the pressure. He gets it off, but it's not a great one, but he did pretty good, all things considered. He's going to roll into Golden Knight territory, and they'll start at their own 49 as nobody near it. They sit the house there. And they do punt again, the smart play, and pretty good job to get it out of there as now Aaron Woods back here a little slow to get to the sideline as he took the brunt into that one.
He's limping. That's
so punters going down left and right here.
We may have to put a warrant ad in the paper for a punter.
You got any leg left out there?
Oh, goodness. That's not good.
So the Knights, again, trailing 28-7, has stopped the Dragons a couple of times here. And they are looking to get back in it. DeRidder trying to get the turnover. Slant is going to be incomplete. Lemieux, the intended target there. He was smothered by Merriweather.
You know, Sean, South Bow has been to the right with three wideouts all standing side by side. To me, they haven't really taken very much advantage of that.
Second down, they'll try to throw the slant again. This time, nearly a one-handed pick, but the feet get tangled up out there, and Merriweather's going to get the penalty. That's kind of a tough call, because he actually went up to go intercept the football, but their feet got tangled up. I don't know if that should have been a PI, but we'll see. And they do call it. That's a tough one there, because he was, again, there's not a whole lot of room to operate there if you're Lemieux, the receiver. You're having to beat the press coverage, and they're kind of shading Grant Cooper over to your side, but that'll mark off the penalty yardage and move it into Dragon territory now at the 36-yard line of the Dragons. So the Knights get some new life here. Two tight ends stacked to the far side. Royer flexed out deep. That looked his way. They're trying to go to Lemieux again. He has got coverage all over him. They nearly drop it in, but it falls incomplete. Again, he is somehow able to wiggle around the press of Merriweather, barely kind of shaded over. Was looking to maybe get his third pick of the evening. Instead, it falls incomplete.
I was really surprised, Sean, how close that was to be completed.
I was, too. That ball hung in the air a long time. It was a really good throw by Walker Langton, and I'm just shocked he's not trying to go out there to Royer. Bad snap, it falls right to him. He'll just have to bail out and air this one over to his sideline.
That should be a
They may call, the Dragons want grounding.
There's nobody out there.
There actually was a guy out there, and it got to the line of scrimmage.
That's true.
There's a lot of factors at play, but he did a pretty good job of just sailing that one over to his sideline, past the line of scrimmage. He was in the pocket, but again, got past the line of scrimmage, and a receiver maybe in the area. Third down and 10. If DeRidder brings pressure again, they don't. They'll throw this one up deep, and that will just be an arm punt as it's intercepted. And back the other way come the Dragons at the 35 to the 40, and that is intercepted by Daniel Mazik. Ball comes out. This would be a double whammy, and looks like South Bow's going to keep it after the fumble. They'll get it right back. And bodies all over the place here. And if that's the case, it'll be a new set of downs.
We've seen a little bit of everything, haven't we?
We really have.
Oh, halftime.
And so, again, we don't know because the clock's broken. That wild sequence will end our first half. So an interception that was returned by Mazik, he fumbles. It's recovered by South Bow, but it doesn't matter because the half comes to an end. And it was a fantastic first half here in week one for the DeRidder Dragons. They lead it at the break 28-7. We have no idea how much time they're going to put on this halftime clock, but they will have the band and dance line performances. We'll check back in with you about halfway through and give you some updates maybe from some scores around the area. But again, at the break here at Eastville Memorial Stadium, the Dragons 28, the South Bow Knights 7. You are listening KROK 95.7 FM.
I just opened my student checking account at Barksdale Federal Credit Union, and it was so easy. No minimum deposit, free debit card with reward points, and they waived my monthly fee for just showing my proof of enrollment. Even my younger siblings can open one with a parent. If you're a student, you've got to check this out. Score more perks. Open your student checking at Barksdale Federal Credit Union today. Check them out at bfcu.org.
Must be under the age of 25 and enrolled in school. Minors must have a joint parent or guardian on the account. Federally insured by NCUA.
Iberia Comprehensive Community Health Center, Inc. strives to provide comprehensive health care to everyone, offering medical services to communities throughout Louisiana. They are proud to announce the opening of their newest health care center, coming to DeRidder this fall. DeRidder Community Health Center will be offering family medicine services at 427 North Pine Street, Suite A, DeRidder. For more information, visit their website, icchc.org.
Football season at Benoit Motors, we're here to help you avoid the fumble and cheer every drive with unbeatable deals across all your favorite brands. Nissan, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford, Chevrolet, and GMC. Whether you're looking for a tough Ram to tackle any job, a sleek Nissan to drive the field, or a Ford or Chevy ready to rush through your day, Benoit Motors has the winning lineup. Don't drop the ball on savings. Our prices are touchdown worthy and our service is championship level. So gear up and head to Benoit Motors and let's make this season one to cheer about. Buy Benoit.com. With Benoit, every drive's a victory.
Attention! Champion Homes Leesville is hiring skilled craftsmen to join their expanding team. Whether you're an electrician, plumber, welder, or mechanic, they have a spot for you. Benefits include company match 401k, paid vacation and holidays, medical, prescription, dental, vision, and life insurance. Still not convinced? Get this. They offer weekly production bonuses and a chance to be entered into weekly drawings of $500 with perfect work attendance. And you're eligible to purchase a Champion Home at retail cost after 1 year of employment. Don't overthink it. Visit championhomes.com to apply today.
Hi, I am Bobby Nothnagel, sales associate and broker with Exit Real Estate Consultants. As this new football season begins, I would like to wish the South Beauregard Nights and the DeRidder Dragons a safe and successful season and a great year in the classroom. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you're in need of relocation expertise, call me at 337-348-1092. You could text Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y-E, to 85377 or visit our office at 1909 North Pine Street in DeRidder.
Great food, great drinks, and a great time? You're sure to find all that and maybe more at Double D Steakhouse in DeRidder. Open daily at 11 a.m. They are ready to serve you juicy burgers, delicious chicken dishes, and cut daily certified Angus beef steaks, all cooked over a mesquite grill. Complement your entree with a loaded baked potato, some steamed veggies, or any of their many side selections. Watch your favorite sports teams on one of their mini TVs while enjoying an ice-cold draft beer or one of their many popular drink specials. Double D Steakhouse, located on Highway 171 in DeRidder, for great food, great drinks, and a great time.
You need a bank like a great oak tree with roots that run deep in the community and wide branching arms that give you comfort and relief knowing you're covered from the storm. Beauregard Federal Savings Bank is there for you. Their roots run so deep, they've been serving the DeRidder community ever since 1948. Their staff have been trained on the same values of quality customer service and personal treatment since the bank's founding. From loans to debit cards to IRAs, online banking, and other services, Beauregard Federal Savings Bank, 337-463-4493.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
This is Derek Abel at Autoplex 2000 in Moss Bluff on Highway 171. It's back to school time here in the Lake area. Need a vehicle for that new driver or to carpool with the kids from the neighborhood? We have what you need at prices you won't believe. Now is the perfect time to buy to get back in the swing of school with Autoplex 2000. Why dream it when you could drive it? Come to Moss Bluff Autoplex 2000 where dreams come true. Or you can visit us online at goautoplex.com.
South Bow Hardware and Supply, located at 12707 Highway 171 in Longville, is the local place you trust when you have a project and you require only the best in lumber, building materials, plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, and so much more. They know the value in local support, and South Bow Hardware is proud to show their support for the South Bow Knights and the Lady Knights as they charge their way to the championships. That's South Bow Hardware and Supply. Come get what you need today.
September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and the Beauregard Parish Library invites you to discover how a single card can open the door to endless opportunities. With a library card, you can do so much more than check out books, from free classes and job resources to homework help and much more. Having a library card brings endless possibilities for everyone. The card is free, easy, and empowering. Stop by any Beauregard Parish Library location to sign up for your card today, because with a Beauregard Parish Library card, the possibilities are truly endless.
Some call it over-planning. At Shawson Gas, we call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Be prepared this hurricane season and call Shawson Gas at 337-239-2719 to get in line for your new Generac home standby generator. Financing available. Shawson Gas, located at 1107 South 5th Street in Leesville. Ask about their monitoring services for generators and propane tanks.
But that is a loaded division. There are some good head coaches in that division. They do. They earned it. Because the Raiders have Pete Carroll. You've got Pete Carroll, won a Super Bowl. Sean, back here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, where looks like the DeRidder band, Mike. Is who we got out there? It's like the DeRidder Dragons band.
I think so.
Playing here. Again, we have no play clock or game clock or scoreboard on out here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium. As the Dragons, we do know the score, Mike. The Dragons have looked really good here in week one, first half one of 2025. They lead 28-7 over the South Beau Nights. We will go down the scoring drives with you. Again, no scoreboard, no clock, but we know that it was a pretty interesting first quarter. South Beau won the coin toss, and they got the football first. They converted a 3rd and 12. Garrett Watkins, a big gainer, and that got him into Dragon territory. And then 4th and 4, the DeRidder Dragon defense stoned the Knights and made them turn it over on downs. That would be a trend in the first half. So South Beau turns it over on downs when they're open to drive. DeRidder takes over at their own 44. They convert a 4th and 2. Connor Rushford hedges a nice little swing pass out of the backfield. And actually, that was South Beau's band, Mike. So we are blind and we don't have the clock. So 4th and 2, Connor Rushford makes a nice catch here on the near sideline, and that extended a drive. Again, that was the opening drive for the Dragons. It ended in a quarterback Michael Parmley 1-yard sneak. He was able to sneak out the backside. They kind of had the rugby scrum inside the one, just like he did at the Jamboree last week. Extra point was good, so the Dragons sometime through the first quarter led it 7-0. However, the Knights would answer. A couple of plays after a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty gave the Knights a first down. Actually, it was the first play after the penalty. The Knights go up top. Walker Lincoln connects with his receiver, Caleb Lemieux, a 59-yard touchdown pass. The extra point was good, so knotted up midway through the first quarter at 7-all. Then DeRidder would get the football back. A couple of pass interferences on some third downs inside the 10-yard line. The Dragons ran 3 straight plays with a third down. They got 2 PIs trying to get the football down there to the big fella, Jaden Merriweather. But the third time was the charm for number 3. Isaiah Fairley gets the 3-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, so at that point it was 14-7, and then somewhere in between that, we ended the first quarter. So we move to the second quarter. South Beau gets the football for their third drive. Again, trying to answer. They drive it all the way down, but an interception in the end zone by Javon Fairley, and he took it 103 yards all the way. However, blocking the back penalty negated that, brought it back all the way to the Dragon 8-yard line. One play later, an interception. I like the play call, like I said. Dragons try to strike and go deep, just a little bit underthrown. It was intercepted by the Knights, so no harm done there on the turnover. That was Micah Dupree with the interception right after Fairley's interception. South Beau gets it back in Dragon territory on the 37, but again, Dragon's defense forces a turnover on downs. Again, 4th and 2. South Beau just has not been able to run the football. The Dragons punt, however, special teams, and another turnover, give it right back to the Dragons. This time on a punt, it was fielded, a wicked hop, kicked off of the punt returner, and Grant Cooper, right place, right time, able to get it for the Dragons. They would capitalize again. A big play right to Jaden Merriweather for 33 yards, gets it deep into South Beau territory, and Fairley with touchdown number 2. That made it 21-7. South Beau then goes 3 and out. The Dragons defense starting to kind of settle in here. They go to Castle Montgomery to the Dragons on the ensuing drive. They start from their own 22. They take it 78 yards, a 22-yard run for Javon Fairley, his third of the evening. The extra point is good, 28-7. Then Fairley almost has his second interception. He actually had it on 3rd and long, bounces right out of his hands and goes right to Caleb Lemieux for the first down. A couple of plays later, however, on 4th down, the Dragons defense holds again, and it is Javon Fairley with the interception. This time he It's to about the 34-yard line. Doesn't take it quite all the way. DeRidder goes 3 and out and punts. And then right at the end of the half, chaos ensued. The Dragons get another interception. This time, Daniel Mazik intercepts it. And on the return, he fumbles. Southbow recovers, so what would have been a 3rd down and then a 1st down for the Knights after a switch in possession. The half ends. They just kind of wave their hands around and everybody runs to the locker room. So at the break, it is 28-7 Dragons. Sean Markin with you. Mike Isles to my right. And Mike, I'll bring you in here. This offense has looked pretty good for DeRidder. They have capitalized on some short fields with turnovers. They do have a turnover on their own, but like I said, I love the aggression because teams of the past would probably just run it 3 straight times and punt, with the content of just being with the lead. Your defense playing well, but they tried to go for the throat there and unfortunately underthrew it, but they've answered with a couple more scores. They lead 28-7, and they'll get the ball out of the locker room.
Well, and Dragon fans, as long as I've been calling DeRidder football, I probably have seen more passes in the first half of this ball game than I've seen in some whole seasons. And I love Michael Plumlee can throw the ball, and and if you just join us now at halftime, we got Connor Rushford on the bench. He's also the punter. We went in and punted just before halftime.
Yeah, Aaron Woods has punted twice, and I think the last one, Southbow tried to send the house, and he came up a little.
He came limping off, and I mean, you begin to wonder. I guess you can say, Sean, maybe you and I could punt, but I know I couldn't.
I don't know if I have any eligibility left, and again, I do live in city limits, so if I did transfer, but I couldn't do that. But here's the thing, you said it. We brought it up in the first half. Again, on the first drive offensively for the Dragons, Connor Rushford makes a nice little grab out here. They little play design to the near sideline. He has some blockers he converts. Then somewhere in that drive, he kind of came up slow at his ankle. We're hoping it was a cramp. But I think that if you're a Dragon fan or anybody on the coaching staff or a player, you feel pretty good about it because, again, they've scored a couple of more times without him being on the field and having carry such a load. I think it's pretty good to see that you're going to have some other guys come out here and step up. And you've seen Javon Fairley. You've seen Jaden Merriweather. Castle Montgomery had a long gain in the first half. Somebody else has to do it.
Right.
It's a 10, 11, 12-game season, however long you want to go. And, again, these aren't Derrick Henrys or, anybody like that out there. These are high school kids, so they're going to wear down, but you can't wear a guy down in week 1. So the fact that you're doing this with Connor on the sidelines, he's going to have to, obviously be a big factor offensively for you this year. But we've seen everybody else step up, and I think that's what you had to have.
Well, and really, too, Sean, he had 2 outstanding runs, and then the other runs that he had were just short yardage. And then, like Sean said, he came out limping the first time and then went back in again and still had a really good run.
Yeah, the second time he came out, he just didn't look right.
Yeah, and they really had to help him the second time.
And if you flip it on the other side, South Beauregard is the team that, again, won this matchup last year in week 1, and they started 5-1 last year. They were decimated by injuries about halfway through. I mean, after that Kinder game, they just started dropping left and right. They lose Christian Wold, the quarterback, and lose one of the running backs, but they've been able to move the football. They've not been able to run the football.
No.
That has been the issue, and they've gone to the run in short yardage, and you got to credit that defensive line for the Dragons. Paxton Romine, Jaron Jackson, Marcus March, Amari Willis, those guys are just winning up front, and they've been unable to convert a 4th down. They have not converted one yet, and it's been because of the front of the Dragons, and they keep running right into the teeth of it. They've left some points on the board. They've turned it over quite a few times, and it's been sloppy. But one thing, if you're South, but you've got to come out here and get the stop on the opening drive because DeRidder put the nail in the coffin here.
Well, and too, Sean, it's not that South Beauregard hadn't had opportunities, and that's what you're saying. They've had opportunities. They just haven't been able to capitalize on the opportunities. And here Sean was laughing at while we were off the air a while ago. Maybe South Beauregard needs to forget about running, just throw the ball.
Yeah, and look, they go quick, so even when they do run, they're back at the line of scrimmage 5-6 seconds later. The problem is they just haven't been able to get, I think the longest run by Marketel was about 8 yards, and that was a couple of drives ago, and that's, it's a decent game, but that's all he's had. Everything else has been at the line of scrimmage, tackle for loss, and that's a credit to the front of DeRidder, had opportunities. It's just you've come up short here, there, a play here. This could be a tie game. It's not down to 7, but instead you find yourself down 21, not with the football coming out of the locker room. And I can tell you, DeRidder's not going to take the foot off the gas, because with a team that doesn't, that doesn't waste any time and goes tempo, you could score. I mean, they scored in one play after that penalty. You see how fast it can go. And if you let up and get this team back in it within 14 or, within 7 with 10, 15 minutes left of game time, it could get real interesting. So I would see Coach Parmley and Michael Parmley take that offense and just maybe go for the kill shot here.
It's not going to take much to go for the kill shot, that's for sure.
Yeah, they have been able to do really good things with arguably their most important offensive player hampered by an ankle injury. And I was trying to look on the sideline. If I'm Coach Parmley, I probably told Connor to take his pads off and just hang out on the sideline the rest of the way, especially up 28-7. But we'll see. Again, that'll be something to monitor. Even next week, as everybody else will be in action as well. But you're in pretty good position here from what you've seen with your team, through the first half, to not have to rush him back. Definitely not tonight, and we'll see, how that goes. And obviously you want him to come back. You've already lost a senior that can't play this year to injury or whatever, and Reed Williams, but you don't want Connor to go down and it be really serious before you even get to district play. So we will take a 30-second break, and it looks like we are ready for third quarter action. Take one more break. Just bring you the second half. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
It's fall on the Bend, the perfect time to enjoy the great outdoors on Toledo Bend. Sabine River Authority invites you to head to Toledo Bend. Enjoy waterfront cabins at Cypress Bend Park or RVing at Pleasure Point and San Miguel Parks. There's plenty to do along Louisiana's largest waterway. Fish, boat, swim, and barbecue. Sabine River Authority, managing Louisiana's recreation destination. And this holiday season, plan a visit to Cypress Bend Park for festive holiday lights along the Bend. Sabine River Authority brings Toledo Bend to life.
We'll receive something to monitor. Again, Connor is in uniform down there, but he's under the tent. The other thing to monitor, and we talked about it, the last punt that DeRidder had, South Beau sent everybody trying to get it, and they nearly did, but they definitely got a piece of backup punter Aaron Woods, and he's under the tent with Connor as well. Hopefully he's not banged up, because then you are in dire straits if you got to punt the football. Hopefully. And it does look like I can't tell, but it looks like he doesn't have cleats on either. A lot of people walking down barefoot around there, Mike.
Well,
at least it's cooled off on the track.
And look, we're not laughing because it's not a laughable
you don't want to make
situation. But, when you start thinking about this, how many punters does a high school team have?
I can promise you they find one. Connor Rushford doesn't. He didn't walk in there and say, Coach, I want to be the punter.
No.
He said, I can punt. They're trying to find a good athlete that can kick it far. Now, what'll be interesting here is see if South Beau actually does kick this far, and they may try to sneak one in, and looks like DeRidder's ready for it. They've got about 6 on that front line kind of bunched up near the midfield logo. They'll spread them out now. But we'll see if Sam Smith kicks it or if it's Alex Baggett, Alex Baggett. That's kind of 1 and 2 right there nearest to the football. We'll see what happens here as we get ready to get underway. Dragons will be going from right to left on your radio dial. They will kick a low line drive, and it'll be fielded on a hop by Fairley at the 20. He's got a full head of steam, and he's in the clear. He's got one man to beat, and he's gone. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Dragons right out of the locker room. That might be the kill shot again. He caught that on a hop, fielded it like a shortstop, and had all kinds of green grass, and the Dragons are pouring it on right out of the locker room. Fairley's 4th touchdown of the night, this time on special teams. And if you think about it, the interception was called back. He'd have one on offense, defense, and special teams, and he might be looking for one, but Javon Fairley doing everything right here for the Dragons as they line up to kick the extra point right out of the locker room, and that is a devastating blow for the Knights.
He looked just like a cannonball coming out of the cannon.
Yeah, he fielded that as Clay. And that was a tricky hop, too, as the snap is down, the hold is down, and the kick is pure. Rodriguez adds on 35-7 after Javon Fairley, the 80-plus yard kickoff return for his 4th of the night. South Bow getting it. We'll be right back on KROK 95.7.
Are you paying your bank to hold your money? If so, it's time to make the switch to a bank with totally free checking. Sabine State Bank offers free checking with no fees, no minimum balance, no balance requirements, no analysis fees, and we still include check images in your statements without a fee. There is even a free small business account. If you really want free checking, stop by one of our convenient 45 locations. Sabine State Bank. Our goal, your future success. Member FDIC.
Back here at Cecil Dole Memorial Stadium as the fireworks started very early out of the locker room. Javon Fairley has done it all here. I believe a 78-yard kickoff return for the first play of the second half, and the Dragons add on 35-7.
Fielded at the 5.
And looking to do the same here as Lemieux. He gets the edge, and he's off and running. And they'll cut him back, but a good return out to the 40, near the 40. And again, if you're South Bow, you've got to get something going. It is.
Hey, Dragon fans, I know you hear me laughing up here. You just had to see Javon. It was like a rocket.
Just shy of the 40-yard line, the Knights will start at their own 39. And we talked about it during the break. We're not sure if Fairley was touched.
No, I don't think he was.
They'll go down on the ground to Marketown again. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard up to the 40. This Dragons defense is really starting to settle in here, and they'll give up a run every time here and let that clock bleed, which does not work again. If you're just joining us, scoreboard's been off since the jump. So second down and 9. They'll throw the quick hitch, and that one hops to the intended receiver, Caleb Lemieux. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. And a little going from bad to worse here.
Well, right now, Sean, they don't. Of course, we just started the second half, but right now, nothing is working for South Beauregard.
No, and again, you don't expect to come out of the locker room and give up the opening kickoff for a touchdown. That kind of just blows up everything you game planned for. Now, 3rd and long, 9 yards to get. That one's going to be overthrown by about 10 yards. Looked like a miscommunication between Langton and his intended receiver there.
And he was double covered.
Yeah, I think that was Watkins. Yeah, Watkins went in for the slant. He threw that one into the void towards the sideline, and no reason to even try to go for it here. South Bow in their own territory. They'll just try to flip the field.
Again, Sean, it was like we were saying. They started at the 40-yard line, and they're still on the 40-yard line. And
they got a yard. 3 plays in a yard, and again, it didn't take very long. Might have been some early movement there off the edge, but the punt is gotten off in time. It'll take a high bounce, and if you're the Dragons, you got to get away from it. And the Knights will down it. But again, near offside there, that was Aiden Scott who tried to catch the edge and maybe get a block in, but they will have it in their own territory. So a quick, again, 3 and out for the Knights. And it looks like they'll start on the 26. Will the Dragons with a 35-7 lead here early in the 3rd quarter.
And Sean, did you try to run? Well, I don't say that. That's not nice. You don't try to run the score.
No, absolutely not. No.
You just keep trying to do what you got to do.
You get them out of there if you score another one, actually.
Yeah.
And first down plays will be blown up in the backfield. A host of Knights. Yeah, you never run the score up.
No.
Because that's how guys get hurt. Speaking of hurt, we had a player a little slow to get up. He'll walk off under his own power. I mean, that's Luke Wisby, one of the defensive linemen there. He kind of came up a little slow. A loss of about 3 on that play.
And Dragons fans, the Dragons playing just as good as they can play. Of course, next week we go across the Sabine River to play the Newton Eagles.
No, actually, Mike, you go up to Sabine Parish to Manny.
Oh, okay. That's good.
3 is Newton. And, yeah, I actually got to see some film on Manny the other day, and I'll probably be able to see again. But they played Rose Pine in the Jamboree. They looked a little bit better than they did last year. Again, one of the teams that did not pick up a win last year. They weren't very good. They were able to handle business last year. But again, we'll be able to see possibly an improved team, and a nice move in the hole by Cooper. That's Jaden Cooper. He pretty good footwork there to pick up a nice gain, and on third down, then a late flag comes in. That was about a 3rd-13. Cooper made it going to be about a 4th and 1, but we'll see what this flag is. It's after the play. He's at the 34. Had to get to, I believe, the 35.
And Dragon fans, I think Sean and I would tell you that everybody that's run the ball for the Dragons tonight, they've all run the ball very well.
Yeah, and if you think about it, obviously, Javon can line up, and that's going to be sportsmanlike conduct on the night. So from bad to worse there, and that'll extend the drive. It's going to be about a 4th and 1.
But I would think, Sean, that everybody that's run the ball has at least got 50 yards rushing.
And you needed it, because 5 is over there on the sideline with his helmet off, and he has been since the first quarter. So you hope he comes back, but you got to like what's happening here is again, he's going to be one of your most important players production-wise, but everybody else has pitched in, and now a first down run, and Cooper gets out of the pile and picks up about 6 or 7. He's across the 45 into night territory. They'll mark it just shy of the 44, the nose of the football right in front of us here. Clock continues to run here in this third quarter. The Dragons lead the Knights 35-7, looking to probably put the knockout punch in and get some of the younger guys on the field.
Well, and I think Coach Brad Plumlee's doing the right thing too, Sean. He's eating clock.
That's what you got to do up 3 or 4 scores. You just want to, even if it doesn't result in some points, as now they'll go to the air, they'll throw the screen. That's a pretty good job to read it over there on the far side. And Malik Hallmark over there, he was reading that little tunnel screen off the jump and nearly caught the football.
And just about the time I brag about the ball ever play,
they throw it. But, one of those high percentage throws you would think, but that's just a heck of a read there.
Yeah.
By South Bow, they were kind of spit that one out. 2 receivers now to the near side. Merriweather nearest to us, and Walker as well. Looks like Jaden Cooper back there. Fellow sophomore with his quarterback sophomore. Parmley gets the snap and run into a brick wall, but bouncing outside. We'll see if he can make something out of nothing. Pretty good run. Spins out a 2 tackle.
Ooh, that should be a penalty.
Thrown way out of bounds, and there comes the laundry. But, I saw what the DeRidder coaching staff did. They tapped, that's going to be Hunter Bellard on the helmet. They were probably, congratulated for playing through the whistle. Kind of the momentum took him out, but I don't think there was any intent there. He just ran out of room, and momentum carried him out. He decided to finish the tackle. So they'll add 15 more onto that. That was a pretty good run there from Jaden Cooper. He ran right into a brick wall and able to bounce it outside, so they'll tack on 15 more.
Well, Dragon fans, I'm going to just use that old English. When the Knight got him out of bounds, he slung him down to the ground. And that's when the flags all came out.
But if you noticed, nobody on the DeRidder sideline got up with any kind of intent.
No,
so they didn't really think it was as egregious. But I think, like I said, you're trying everything you can over here to the sideline to get him out. He did finish it, but everybody got up okay. This first down, Farmer gets the snap. He'll hand it off. Javon Fairley still trying to fight for yardage. They're holding him up, trying to strip the football out, and he'll pick up another good chunk. They're starting to lean on this Southbow defense here.
And Sean, maybe we need to start bragging on the offensive line, because there's got to be holes open, or they couldn't be able to get through where they're
starting
going.
To kind of impose here.
Yeah. So we've got some pretty good-sized kids playing on the offensive line.
He had a 6-yard gain there. Yeah, you got to thank the guys up front. This time they'll go to the air. Merriweather in the end zone, and that one incomplete. Kind of hesitated there, waiting for the football. Should have kept maybe running through the route. That one a little bit out of the reach, and it'll be third down.
And that was good defense that time by the Knights.
Yeah,
there was
a step there. And again, that was Dupree, who had an interception earlier. He had the one right after Fairley's interception, one play later to be exact. So that's about 3rd and 4. And I hand it off. Javon, nice cut, and he lowers the head into the teeth of the defense, and he will move the chains yet again. Gets one more better than he needed. Artez on the stop, and now looks like they'll spot it at the 11 of South Bow. Again, DeRidder leads 35-7 in the third quarter. Clock doesn't work, so we're in the third. We just don't know how far into the third. This time he's going to be wrapped up by a host of Knights, and I believe it's Swallow right there. It is. We haven't been able to call his name much. I think that's a testament to the Dragon front, but he gets back there and gets the TFL. One of the few negative plays by Javon tonight. He's pretty much done it all. Again, they called him Travis Hunter earlier. He should, if not for the block in the back, he'd have a touchdown on offense, defense, and special teams. They'll try to swing this one out to him, and now Army's just going to put that one in his pocket. He's sacked by Swallow. We got flags everywhere. There might be a couple of linemen down the field. Could be a hold. We'll see.
I always take an opportunity to thank our sponsors, because I know that a lot of people, Sean, tell me that they're not able to, come to the ball games physically, or, it's late, or it's a away game, and we do appreciate, you letting Sean and I do what we really love to do.
Yep, a lot of fun. Again, pulling double duty for me this week. That flag actually was a face mask, so it works out in the Dragons' favor. Parmley paid the price there as he had to hold on to the football, but it does result in 15 yards, or 10 yards, looks like, because I think it may be a half a distance penalty. It looks like the ball's at about the 6-yard line now, and it's second down. Parmley gets it, he hands it off to Cooper, and Jaden Cooper falls forward for a few more. And again, if you obviously want this drive to result in some points, but what more importantly it's doing is eating up a ton of that clock that we can't see.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Rodriguez attempt field goal.
Yeah, and they might, depending on down and distance here. It's like 3rd and 5. I think they can still get a first. It's like the first down marker is down by the 1 over there. Dragons 2 receivers up at the top of the formation, 1 to the near. Well, late flag comes in, and we'll have some motion up front by the Dragons, so that'll back them up. Make third down a little bit tougher.
I think Sean has had one foot in the road. He went to the Rosebine ball game last night. He's here with us tonight. And then in the morning,
we're headed out
to see the LSU Tigers play.
Headed out, and probably Sunday going to New Orleans.
And he's going to get as much football in as he
long weekend. I'll get my money's worth.
That's what happens when you're young.
Yeah, but not as young. I feel it a little bit more now. 3rd and 9, we'll call it 9. Armley in the gun, they'll tip it out here to Merriweather. It makes man miss, and if he could break a tackle, he's still on his feet, trying to fall forward. He's inside the 5, but if he could have slipped that one, he was into the end zone. And it'll be about 4th and a long 2, and we will have what appears to be a hydration break. We will take a 30-second break. Dragons lead tonight 35-7. Looking to put the nail in the coffin here. You're listening to KROK 95.7 FM.
Sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Okay, you've heard that one before. The proof is people leaving the chiropractic clinic with a little higher step in their walk, a broader smile, and generally feeling better after treatments from Dr. James Jenkins. From an auto accident to years of discomfort, Dr. Jenkins and feeling better is only a phone call away at 337-463-7313. Even the initial consultation is free. Living without pain, priceless. Better quality of living is an appointment away at the Chiropractic Clinic, 304 North Pine Street in DeRidder.
Dragons are looking to put the nail in the coffin here. They lead the Knights 35-7. And again, Javon Fairley, 4 touchdowns on the night. One, most recently, a kickoff return of 78 yards. I believe he caught it at the 22. And the Dragons offense is going back out here trying to get this 4th down. It looks like about 2. They are in the heavy package. Parmley under center this time. He'll hand it off. Javon shakes off a defender, fighting forward. I think he may have the first down. No signal for a touchdown yet. And they will pull everybody off the pile.
And surely, John, he's got over 100 yards.
Yeah, now we have a player down under there. I can't tell who it is. So we will take a minute break, try to figure it out. It looks like a Dragon down, and it looks like it's Javon there in the green shoe. Well, he will slowly get up, so we'll keep it right here. The last thing Coach Parmley needs to see. Oh, a little collateral there. Saxon Romine was down with Javon again. About that heavy package in. Those guys trying to gain those tough yards down there, but I believe I think they're going to give the Dragons the first down, I think. The ball's inside the 1. They're going to bring the chains out.
And I'll tell you what, Fairley is walking very gingerly.
Yeah, he was trying to get into that end zone again, but they will measure, so we will see if the Knights able to force the turnover on down there. If not, Dragons will have pretty much about a half a football length to get into the end zone.
And Sean, you look at Fairley.
Yeah, they got that by about a half of a football length, so it is a first down again, where they had enough to get another first down, but you look at Javon, he's not a big guy.
No, that's what
he's having to get in there.
There's not a whole lot of meat on those bones.
But look, somebody's got to get the Connor Rushford yards tonight. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be by committee, but you got to get in there and go between the guards and tackles. And Javon had to, but I just said, Coach, I've got 4. Let's let somebody else get a touchdown there. But, he was trying to go for number 5. And it'll be first down. We'll see who gets the opportunity here as the Dragons go heavy. Like Grant Cooper's back there. Cooper actually is in the middle of the tee. We'll see who gets it. And I believe it's Grant Cooper. And it is. That's a touchdown for the Dragons. Grant Cooper, the middleman in that Tower T formation. He gets it from inside a yard out. And the Dragons add on.
And, Sean, I don't think we've seen DeRidder run that up until this year.
Yeah, they got into formation earlier tonight, and again, Grant Cooper, the recipient of the touchdown this time, usually does his damage on defense, but he gets a touch and punches it in. So Coach Parmley throwing the seniors a bone here, and he gets Grant Cooper into the end zone, and now Rodriguez for another extra point. Snap is good, hold even better, and the kick right between the pipes. He's perfect on his extra point tries, and now the Dragons lead the Knights 42-7. We'll be right back. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
When Beauregard Electric Co-op powered up in 1939, its focus was on the future, always looking for better, more effective ways to supply electricity to our friends and community. In addition to this, supporting our local schools and students became key, as we know they would continue to fuel our future. Now, 85 years later, Beauregard Electric is still powering your life and continuing those traditions and morals. Beauregard Electric Co-op wishes all athletes a safe and successful football season.
KROK Southport Pulp.
Back here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, where the most recent touchdown recipient, senior Grant Cooper, gets it in from about a half a yard after a conversion by Javon Fairley. After he came up a little slow, they went to that power tee and gave it to the middle of the tee, and now South Bow on the return. That's Lemieux. He'll catch it about the 20, and he is dropped. Pretty good kickoff coverage there by the Dragons. We've seen that a couple of times as the Knights will take over, and again, this will all but sorted out.
And Sean, I'm sure that Rodriguez is one of the Dragons' varsity soccer players.
I would have to think so. He kicks it pretty good. He's 6 for 6 on his point after tries.
And he's got a strong leg.
Yeah, he's drilling it through on the extra points. It's nothing cheap there. Markendale gets it on the flip out, and again, DeRidder just not allowing anything against the run here. That may have been a TFL or maybe back to the line of scrimmage. They'll flip the down marker to second and not move the stick to spot the football, so it is officially no gain. And a little slow off the field. One of the offensive linemen having to bail out of there. They'll throw this one over to Lemieux to the near side. He'll have to make a man miss, and he will not. That is a heck of a tackle there.
He hesitated after he caught it.
Yeah, he was trying to.
That wasn't good.
Trying to make Zeke break down, and Zeke, who had the interception right out before the half, able to make a great tackle in the open field to save Lemieux from getting loose, and he already has once. Third down, and this time Langton's going to have to throw this one across his body. That's a really nice throw and catch. Langton gets it to Lemieux for the first down. That's a pretty good job. He was rolling to his left, had to set up and throw across his body, square his shoulders, and that'll move the chains for the Knights. That's one of the first times in a while now. Got a cramp here at the 30. I'm not sure who hit the deck for the Dragons, but couldn't quite make it. Yeah, got for 7, Evan Johnson. He tried.
He just failed there.
And then a sniper got him there about halfway to the numbers as he'll work that cramp out again. You'll probably see a lot of that here in the early goings, as when I got in here, it was pretty hot up in this press box. As he's down at the 30, we'll take a 30-second timeout. Dragons lead 42-7. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
It's common knowledge that Morris Tire serves the Leesville and DeRidder area for all of your tire needs. Did you also know that Morris Tire can handle your vehicle maintenance needs when it comes to brakes, oil, shocks, suspension, and alignments? 2 locations to better serve you. Take advantage of Morris Tire's quality care. Whether you live around Leesville or DeRidder, Morris Tire Service in DeRidder now has a brand new state-of-the-art alignment machine and a certified alignment tech. Stop in today and let Morris Tire take care of your alignment needs.
And back here out of the injury timeout, looks like Camden Johnson just might have been cramped up, but it did look like a sniper got him in his leg there. He wasn't able to quite make it off. They'll get it to Marketell, his longest run of the night. He is into the clear, first down and more, into Dragon territory, and they will ride him out of bounds. He'll cross the 40. We'll see where they mark it, but by far the longest run of the night for Jacob Marketell, who had tough sledding. As a matter of fact, I don't know this for certain, but that run might have, you probably could have added up every other carry he's had tonight and not equaled that total there. It's just been tough for him to find any kind of open space.
You realize we're still in the third quarter?
Play action, they'll throw that one, and it's picked off. And that's Grant Cooper. He's already scored once on offense. He's going down the sideline. A little stiff arm. He'll go out of bounds. And again, another interception. He read that one. Lincoln tried to pull it and throw it over the seam quick, and Javon Fairley back here, he's cramped up. He's limping to the sideline, but Grant Cooper at the touchdown run earlier he was looking for the end zone again, Mike. Pretty good return.
Well, this is when I wish that Brad would let other
yeah,
kids play.
That's got to happen pretty quick.
But I don't think we are.
Well, that's tough there, because you don't want anybody else getting hurt. And DeRidder will take over at the 34 as Grant Cooper took that one real deep into night territory and was looking for the end zone. He was trying to pull a Travis Hunter there. Finally gets it, looking to throw. They'll throw the slant, and that one a little low. I think they were trying to go to Montgomery over there, but yeah, Mike, this is when you got to probably start calling the dogs off and run the football.
Well, and it's like Sean and I said, too, that Dragon fans, it is the first game of the season. We've already got the best runner on the team on the sidelines. He's already hurt.
Scored 4. You don't want cramped up, and he's chilling over there.
You don't want anybody else to get hurt.
And it'll be
that's not the reason you substitute to get somebody else hurt.
Jade Cooper looking for some running room. He'll lower the head and get what he can. He gets up across the 30 to the 29. And we got a player down here at the 30. Trying to see who that is for South Bow down. And again, this is why you probably start getting some other guys in, some of the younger guys. This is week 1. And you're up 35. So if you're DeRidder, you definitely want to start working some of those younger guys in. If you're South Bow, you want to try to get out of here healthy, you may start doing the same. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Again, injury timeout. South Bow player down. We'll try to let you know who that is. You're listening to 95.7 KROK.
I just opened my student checking account at Barksdale Federal Credit Union, and it was so easy. No minimum deposit, free debit card with reward points, and they waived my monthly fee for just showing my proof of enrollment. Even my younger siblings can open one with a parent. If you're a student, you've got to check this out. Score more perks. Open your student checking at Barksdale Federal Credit Union today. Check them out at bfcu.org.
Must be under the age of 25 and enrolled in school. Minors must have a joint parent or guardian on the account. Federally insured by NCUA.
Back here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium, where the injury timeout still down, trying to figure out who we got down, as now he is helped up. I think it might be 77. Dawson Barrow, one of two really good defensive tackles up there on that front. And he is helped off. Hopefully he's okay. But again, you start to see this develop. We're not even into the fourth, which kind of frustrates me at 42-7. And you're still throwing the ball, and guys are dropping like flies. Let's maybe put it on the deck here and bleed the clock in a 42-7 game. Parmley in the gun, and they'll hand it off, and Cooper makes a man miss, but then he is swarmed up by the Knights defense. That's going to be Baggett in there. I believe Dartez in there as well. And that'll make it 4th down and about 7. And they'll call it 6. Looks like the marker may be at the 31.
And again, with it being 4th down, we don't even know who would punt if we decided to punt.
2 punters out, and you're in that part of the field where, honestly, if Rodriguez had the leg, you might think about kicking it here, but this would have been a deep one. They'll throw it instead. They'll go up top, and a near touchdown grab as a little hand checking going on with Merriweather over there, and he's unable to free himself of the contact and make the catch, so a turnover on downs, but nearly pretty good throw there from Parmley and a near hookup with Merriweather. Again, it's kind of a mixed bag with Merriweather. He's made some good plays, and he's been out there one-on-one getting his money's worth.
Well, he's been Parmley's favorite target all night long, too.
Yeah, he's continued to look his way. So Southwood takes over at their own 31, and for the first time in a while, they'll go under center. Oh, no, they won't. I'm sorry. That's all the wrong guy there. They'll hand it off to Marketell out of the shotgun, and again, just absolutely nothing there. He's back to the line of scrimmage. Again, we are not out of the third quarter, so time to move. Clock. And running clock doesn't start until you get to 40, I think, 42 maybe. And we are at 42-7. And Lemieux is going to make the catch, spin out of a tackle, and get near the first down. But it looks like he came up a little slow, but he pops right up after a second. And that does move the chains. Lemieux is well over 100 yards tonight, as he had the 59-yard catch and run for a touchdown. A little bunch formation here. They'll go to Marketell. And he's just, I mean, they are getting after it up front, are the DeRidder Dragons. They have caved that offensive line down. And that'll be 2nd and 10 after the no gain. One receiver way out here to the near sideline. They'll look to throw. They'll throw this one over the middle. The catch is made, and on the run, still on his feet, is Watkins. He breaks out of a tackle. Now he's reversed in field, and he'll lose a little bit, but he's back down to the 40. He was trying to make it happen and put something on the huddle highlight tape, and it'll be a big run and catch. Now he'll get it into Dragon territory as, again, he made a couple of guys miss, and he was looking for more.
I think he'd have been better off to keep going straight.
Yeah, he actually lost about 5 yards. Trying to go against the grain, and I understand why. You know, you got a lot of those guys in pursuit, maybe try to catch him. But instead, it's a first down, and now they'll throw the slant out here, and I believe that's Royer. That's the first time they've looked his way, and it falls incomplete. He's been kind of flexed out with single coverage. He had inside leverage, but it goes right off the hands. That'll bring up 2nd down. And unfortunately for us, the clock stops on the incompletion. Quick throw here. They'll get it out to Lemieux and right through the wickets It'll roll to the DeRidder sideline. That'll bring up third down. That one hit him in the worst spot possible, Mike, right in his hands.
Yeah.
And he hadn't dropped many, so he's had a pretty good night. Again, the only score, and that was on South Beau's second drive of the game, so they have not scored since that first quarter.
Yeah, a long time ago it was 7-7.
They've had a lot of opportunities. They'll go up top here. Royer's got position and a lot of hand checking going on there, and there's the flag. That was going to get called because Royer had some leverage on the defender out there and kind of slowed up the progress, and he gets the flag. Kind of similar to what LSU did with Trades Green. Just throw it over there, let the big guy get some positioning, and good luck to whoever covers it.
Well, Dragon fans, I bragged about it was lighter in the north, the south end zone, and it's not. It's still dark.
I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. It's a lot
little bit better, but not a whole lot.
You want the stadium lights over there in the end zone.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's time they'll go play action. They'll throw it up, and that's going to be another flag as Garrett Watkins gets wrapped up about halfway in his route at the 10. He'll just head back and get set as that'll be a pass interference or a hold of some sort. Pretty textbook, but we've gotten pretty sloppy, and the clock ain't moving, so... So that'll move South Beauregard even deeper into Dragon territory. Ball at the 10-yard line, so first and goal. I'm sorry, it's not at 10. It looks like it's about the 12. I beg your pardon. I'll hand it off. Marketale looking for some running room. He is wrapped up and thrown down. I believe that's Jerron Jackson. He just grabbed him around the waist and slung him down after maybe a yard. But again, it's just been tough sledding for Marketale. You got to think there'll be better days for him this season.
Well, I tell you what, and of course, Sean, you know that too. They're in a tough district.
They are. We'll talk a little bit more about that. They'll flip this one out into the flats. Royer makes the catch, tries to hurdle the defender, trips him out of bounds. I believe that was Mazik, and that'll move it even deeper in. We'll see Mazik with tackle there. He had to chop him down at the legs. That's a big target there. Yes, 6'4", every bit of it. I didn't. I'm still waiting on my growth spurt. About 3rd and 4. They'll look over to the right and jump ball, but that one falls incomplete again. I think they were trying to go to Royer. You saw it. They tried to throw that thing up and let him elevate. And he got above everybody, but unable to bring it down with him. So now 4th down again. The Dragons have been perfect on 4th down defense. And that is going to fall incomplete. I don't think they're going to throw the flag because it was at the line of scrimmage. Lemieux trying to go into the flats, and he was bumped, and that threw off the progress of the route, and a turnover on downs yet again. Dragons take over after an empty possession for the Knights. They moved it, unable to cash it in, and now the Dragons will take over, and it looks like a few new guys are starting to come in, but it's still quarterback Michael Parmley, and I just don't understand that. To be honest with you, I don't like to be critical on air of the coaches, but it's 42-7, guys. You can't have anybody get hurt out here. You got all your skill guys out here. You got your linemen starting to kind of sub in and out, but, I mean...
Well, and too, Sean, with them running like they are the quick offense, that's wearing you out for a small game.
It is, and that's another factor. You know, you're constantly, having to catch air, and on 1st down, they'll hand it off. I believe that's Cooper again.
I tell you, Sean and I worked Suffolk last week. They've got wonderful press box.
Oh, it's great.
You got a window that just goes all the way across. There's no poles. There's no nothing in the way. And when you go somewhere else, even here at Dragon Stadium, I'm still looking at the wall, and I lean over, and I still can't see what they're doing, but that's okay.
Mike's going to have to put in a complaint, file it into the complaint box. Hey, of course, you're at the junior high, so it won't get to the school. It won't get to the high school.
No.
You have to come up here early in the morning and just drop it under the principal's door.
I need to go to school board.
There you go. Yeah, you go up to the higher ups, and it looks like, according to every player on the Dragons, they're holding up the fours, which means we've came to the end of the third quarter, and the Dragons lead the Knights 42-7. We'll come back and finish this one out. You're listening to Dragon Football on KROK 95.7 FM.
Iberia Comprehensive Community Health Center, Inc. strives to provide comprehensive health care to everyone, offering medical services to communities throughout Louisiana. They are proud to announce the opening of their newest health care center, coming to DeRidder this fall. DeRidder Community Health Center will be offering family medicine services at 427 North Pine Street, Suite A, DeRidder. For more information, visit their website, icchc.org.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, you should.
Should.
Back here at Cecil Doyle Memorial Stadium. And I was trying to get a Leesville update. Last one I had, you got a good one over there at Wampus Cat Stadium. In the third, this was, well, it's probably way past that, but in the third with 8:28 left, it was Sam Houston 30, Leesville 28.
Oh, wow, that's a good
So that's probably well past what it is now, but that's pretty. It was 44-35 in the late third. That's the last I have. And if you actually want to flip over and check that score, it's on 93.5 KJAE. So, again, they're over at Wampus Cat Stadium. Here at Cecil Doyle, the Dragons looking to milk this final quarter away and come out of here with their first win. Again, barring one of the greatest comebacks in high school football history. They will move to 1-0, and that one a minimal gain there for Cooper. Bring up about a 3rd and 7.
And Sean, as a little boy, said that ain't going to happen.
And I told you earlier, we were talking about this. We didn't know what the outcome of that Leesville-Sam Houston game would be, but we figured it would be pretty high scoring. The third about 7. Only loads up and throws, trying to hit Montgomery. Instead, it'll be an arm punt, intercepted. And he is looking for paint. That is going to be Lee Coleman. He takes it deep into Dragon territory. So an interception, Plumlee's second. Honestly, I'm not sure why he was throwing that one, but
yeah, that wasn't very close, Sean.
I mean, that was an arm punt, but why wouldn't you just run it, bleed some clock, and again, I'm getting a little too critical, but they probably didn't have to call a game last night and been running on 4 hours of sleep every night, prepping for 2 games this week. So
no.
I will direct my complaints down to the coordinator. The Southbow starts on there at the Dragons 15. And it'll be a handoff to the right side.
Well, Sean, you just think when the clock scoreboard is on, it just doesn't seem like it takes this long.
No, you're right.
To run a quarter.
It does when you're at work, though.
Yeah. It just really does.
Oh, and a bad snap here, and Langton fell on it, but then some contact, so it's still loose. And again, you don't want to see that if you're South Bow. You don't want to see your quarterback having to take a lick there down on the field. I don't know if he's able to recover that football. I'm not sure how he was able to recover it. He took a shot there. Because it kind of a slide save there, but he recovered it. But at the 19, 3rd and 15 here.
They just can't take advantage of the situations they're in.
Pocket starts to break down, and down goes the quarterback, Langton. No gain. He actually gets back to the line of scrimmage. Or actually, Romine with the credit there on the tackle. Looks like he might have got to the 20. 4th and 15. There's the snap. Looking to throw. He'll throw this one. And a sliding catch made well short of the sticks by Lemieux. But we got a flag back here near the quarterback. So we'll see what that's going to be. Personal foul. Face mask on the Dragons. So that will keep the drive alive. Dragons are going to get off the field yet again on a 4th down stop, but instead it'll be a penalty that keeps the Knights' offensive drive alive here, and again trying to get back on the scoreboard for the first time since the first quarter. In 42-7, Dragons lead sometime here in the fourth quarter. And another touchdown by DeRidder would have triggered the running clock. Instead, it's going to be South Bow looking to get back a score here. So first and goal from the 5. Langton hands it to Markatello. He just lowers his head and tries to get what he can, but maybe a yard or two. Clock continues to run.
And Dragons fans, there's just no hole for him to run through.
Yeah, he had that long gain, and I'd like to know if that long run equaled his entire total from every other carry. It's just been tough for him. And you got to credit the Dragons. That's going to be a keeper and Langton into the end zone. Pretty good keep there, and he's in for the touchdown, a 3-yard touchdown run for the South Bow quarterback, and that'll make it 42-13 with the one after try pending.
So it's taken them a long time, but they finally got back on the board, Dragon fans.
And again, that comes after a penalty kept the drive alive on fourth down after the catch was well short of the sticks, but a face mask kept it alive. And if you're DeRidder, you've had a couple of those where you could have even got off the field earlier. So they'll line up for the extra point. And that hold was disastrous from the start, as it'll be blocked / no good. That was tough there, as Smith unable to even get a leg on it. It'll be 42-13. We'll take a 30-second break. Dragons will get it. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
This football season, don't fumble your chance. We've got unbeatable deals at Benoit Motors. We're your one-stop touchdown spot for Nissan, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Ford, Chevrolet, and GMC, and so much more. Whether you're calling the plays with a rugged Ram, driving a Nissan that's ready to blitz, or cruising in a Chevy or Ford built to dominate the road, we've got the lineup that scores every time. No interceptions here, just game-winning prices and customer service that makes you want to cheer. BuyBenoit.com. Huddle up and head over to Benoit Motors today.
A quarterback run, Walker Langton, 3 yards out, kept it on a nice read play and ran it in. Well, again, a little too late, as the Dragons 42, a nice 13, as we are in for the fourth quarter. We'll look ahead here for both teams next week. South Bow will open their home schedule. They'll have Washington Marion next Friday night, and like we said earlier, the Dragons, Mike, you were a week early on the schedule. Dragons will head to Manny, where they'll shoot off about $35,000 worth of fireworks during pregame, and it'll still be daylight, but they love doing that. And Dragons take on the Manny Tigers next Friday as well.
Well, I'd always heard about the firework thing, and the first time we went up there, it was so dry they canceled it.
I've seen it twice recently. As South Bow line up to kick off, a little short kick that'll be fielded, and that's a smart play there. Just fall down with it, risk any kind of danger. And that's quarterback Michael Parley out there. They got to get somebody else out there on the special teams. He can't have the quarterback, and he smartly falls down, but Dragons will take over. Looks like at their own 27. And so South Bow at home against Washington Marion. DeRidder makes the trip up to Sabine Parish. As the student section gets to start the buses chant started, they had to wait till 42-13. They wanted to make sure. Armley's still in, along with the rest of the starters. But yeah, they'll shoot about, actually it's about $12,000, $13,000 worth of fireworks. And Cooper with a nice little jab step to get outside, and he's able to get the corner and pick up 11 for the first down. That's not Grant Cooper, it's Jaden Cooper. Grant Cooper did have a rushing touchdown. I forgot there's 2 Coopers that have ran the football, and Jaden's been between him and Javon Fairley, who's actually still out there, who was cramping up earlier. I'm not going to criticize anybody, but I'm not having my starters in this game at 42-13. Dragons get the first down after the 11-yard game. Yeah, most recently I went and watched Newman play there we were on the field for that, just kind of hanging around, and it was daylight. They blew about 10 grand of fireworks during the day, and then most recently after that, it was Rose Pine and Manny in the quarters as Fairleigh gets a burst and gets through, but tripped up near the 45. I put it at the 43, but yeah, that quarterfinal game, it was dark. It was November. They shot them off, and I think it was Black Friday, I believe. And the problem is they shoot so much off. For about a quarter and a half, there's just ash and debris in the air, and there's no way that's healthy to breathe.
No.
So call it a home field advantage if you will, but again, it's a lot. That's the best way I can put it. Dragons will bleed some more clock. Again, both clocks, play clock, game clock, scoreboard are broken. They'll give it to Fairleigh, and he is still pushing the pile. He'll move the chains. That'll be about a 5-6 yard gain. He is just shy of midfield at the 49.
He's really had an excellent game.
Yeah, just obviously.
And anything he had done, he's done it all.
The only thing he hasn't done is score on defense, and that got called back. So
well, he hadn't punted yet.
He hadn't punted, but they may have to get him back there if, again, DeRidder, it's a regular punter, Connor Rushford, and obviously running back, do everything guy on offense has been out since the first quarter. So it's been Javon Fairleigh, a little bit of Jaden Cooper as well. That rolls to Parmley. He's just going to find what he can and fall forward across midfield into night territory to the 49. That looked like it rolled all the way to him. Had to field it kind of like a shortstop there. And some more cramping going on up front for the Dragons. Looks like Alexander Rochelle, the right tackle. He's a little gimpy getting back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see how effective he is at blocking here. If you're DeRidder, you probably run it the other way and give him a breather. Again, we have no idea how much time's left on the clock, but hopefully it's not much. This one has been well in the bag for the Dragons. Again, out of the locker room, 28-7 at the break. Dragons get the football, and on the opening kickoff, another rolled snap. A clean field and handoff, this time stopped at midfield. But again, out of the locker room at half, 28-7. You know, the Dragons getting it, and if you're Southpaw, you're thinking, we've got to get a stop here. Well, they allow an opening kickoff touchdown by Javon Fairleigh. It was a wicked roll, but a clean roll. He scooped it on the run, and I don't think anyone touched it until his teammates high-fived him on the sideline. So Dragons will bleed some more clock, and I'll see if the back judge puts his hand up for 10 seconds left on the play clock, and instead he'll wave. Whitehead will wave his hands and take the hydration break. So 6 minutes to go in this one. The Dragons well in hand, 42-13 over South Bow. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to KROK 95.7.
With Champion Homes Leesville, you'll always be on the winning team. Champion offers high-quality HUD-manufactured homes at less than half the average price of new site-built homes. No need to wait either. Their efficient off-site construction techniques help you get your new Champion home faster than ever. Visit championhomes.com to search through their signature models like Bourbon, Creole, Pelican, and the Orleans. These are just a few of their top models. Then select Request Info to be connected to one of their many statewide retailers near you. Champion Homes, building up Louisiana one home at a time.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch a little bit of Sam Houston and Leesville if I can get a score. Looks like there's a player down here in the broadcast. Hopefully whoever it is okay. We'll get back to the action here for the Dragons as they have a 3rd and 8. Havens goes across the formation. They'll hand it off. Cooper looking to make the cut, and he nearly breaks it loose. Tripped up just shy of the 30.
That's one of those shoestring tackles.
That is the very definition, as he was about to take that one into the house and let the band play the fight song. Heath Crater, the man to trip him up. And the clock continues to run. Again, we know we have less than 6 minutes to play in this one. as we just recently had the hydration break. So, again, trying to look. We've got an injury. At the start of the fourth, it was 44-35. Can't tell who's down, but both teams on a knee. And then I hand it off. Jaden Cooper still on his feet, still moving his feet. The Lions starting to get behind him and provide a little extra push. And they'll blow the whistle. Game of 7, Iowa beats Jennings 35-6. Speaking of teams in both of these teams on the field's district, Iowa, the district champs last year, and the district with DeRidder, Leesville, and then Jennings, well, like we said, in that District 3A with South Bow, a team I saw last night, Westlake, LCCP. Now I hand it off to Cooper. He is running hard here. And it looks like ball comes out, and it will be South Bow football as somebody got a hand in there, and that one will be recovered by the Knights, so they'll flip the field. And unfortunately, the clock will stop.
Well, then, Dragon fans, you know, when we talk about announcing the games, I think about the two ATN boys from Jennings. Now they're young men playing in the NFL, you know, and you get to announce their ball game. That's a really neat thing to do.
Yeah, and like we talk about that a lot. There's been a lot of good players, even in our area. Like last year, I had the pleasure of being on the call as Xavier Ford went down, and then the Cats went down to Edie White. You know, he set the record, the rushing record, and obviously, you know, Cats came up short, but that Edie White team hadn't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season, and he needed 136 or 139 to hit the record, and he got it. And again, that's pretty impressive, dude. That team ended up being the runner-up in a really good game in that state championship. But you see a lot of cool things when you get to do this, and we talked about this before as a first down carry for the Knights goes for a couple. We talked about this off air before the game, and you know, even with the sponsors, we like to think the sponsors, obviously they couldn't do this without them. But I've called games, like I said, at E.D. White last year in a state semifinal. I've called several girls and boys state basketball championships, baseball and softball. We can't do it without the student athletes, as Royer gets one out in the flats, and that is a really good open field tackle because he is a load. Matthew Thompson, who made a great special teams tackle earlier, whistles down the tight end Royer for a minimal gain, and that'll bring up Ford. But again, I've been able to see South Bow win a state championship in baseball, and we can't go as far as we go. Calling football last year for me is the furthest I've ever done it into December because the Wampus Cats went all the way to the semis. Same way with the Rose Pine Lady Eagles in basketball, calling back-to-back state championships, and baseball the same way. You know, you get to see some pretty cool stuff, but we couldn't do it obviously without the sponsors. But student athletes should get some credit too, man, because they put it out there, and without them, we wouldn't be broadcasting playoffs and state championships.
Well, and then I think about you too, Sean. You think about LSU, and we got the Eagle that just signed almost $1 million
absolutely
contract. And I mean, you know, I used to laugh whenever Ben McDonald would say, well, I don't even know if they've got a caution light in Rose Pine, and I'd say, yeah, but they got a stop light in Rose Pine.
Yeah, we got a red light, and yeah, like I said, getting to watch Ethan in high school, and I know him and his parents. His sister is actually younger than me a little bit. I knew her. Ethan was a lot younger than me, obviously, but getting to kind of know his parents really well more recently since I moved back. As I'll go through this play here as Cooper gets the first down carry for a yard. I got to actually sit with him in 2023 in Omaha, but you know, it was a little bit different this year. You know, I was down there though, but getting to see them, you know, how proud they are. And like I said, Miss Brandy was listening in on Tuesday and sent a text. And I told her you might have been the only one listening. She might have been our only listener the other night. And then she saw me at the game last night, her and Mr. Ross. And they said just to get to see how Ethan stuck around at LSU, you know, because a lot of, in this age, if you get a little frustrated or if you have an injury, you know, there's always a new class coming in. That's football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport. If you maybe underperform because of injury or if something happens, you know, you may be like, hey, I need a fresh start, but to stick it out on this team and be a big part of a national championship team. As nice run here from Cooper. He's going to cross midfield right near the marker. He might have it. That was pretty cool to get to see, especially knowing how hard Ethan worked last year and how hard, you know, it was to come back from an injury after, if you remember correctly, in 2024, he was hitting the ball well before he got hurt. And to just kind of have that shut down completely, to have to rework it from scratch after surgery and to come back, man, and lead the team in batting average, you know, for the regular season and be a big part of a championship team was pretty cool to see. And, you know, watching the draft that first night, you really didn't expect him to go in the third, and they call his name, and man, he was just as shocked. I probably was just as shocked as he was, but man, he earned it. He deserves every bit of it. He's going to be a hard worker, and he's had some success so far in Fayetteville, as the Dragons are in every coach's favorite formation as quarterback Michael Plumlee takes a knee, and that clock will run as the Dragons start to line up. So we could be in the final stages of this one, Mike, and obviously we will put a bow on it, but tell you what, it's a pretty impressive performance by the Dragons, all things considered. You know, a couple of guys going down, but they didn't miss a beat.
Well, and then going back to Ethan, too, you know, Sean and I would you know, we would encourage you that if you get a chance to go watch high school sports anywhere, it doesn't get any better than Louisiana.
No, I mean, even as small of a state as we are, the talent. I mean, you look at the NFL. The best players in the league are coming from Louisiana, and it's pretty cool. A state with about 4.5 million people, and that was the final kneel down by quarterback Michael Plumlee, and the Dragons will win their season opener here tonight, 42-13. As the teams line up and shake hands again. After the first quarter, the Dragons put the clamps down on defense and just kind of added on. They capitalized on some turnovers, and that led to a big win here in their season opener. As for the Knights, again, a lot of missed opportunities. They were in it at early in the first quarter. In the first half, it just kind of got away from them. Turnovers, empty chances on fourth down and short. They'll look to regroup and have Washington Marion at their place to open their home schedule next week. And like we said earlier, the Dragons, like trip up Savvy and Paris, play the Miami Tigers, team they beat last year. So a real good chance to start 2-0 here this season. We'll take a 30-second break, put a ball on this one. Again, the Dragons win tonight 42-13. You're listening to DeRidder Dragons football on KROK 95.7.
Hi, I am Bobby Nothnagel, sales associate and broker with Exit Real Estate Consultants. As this new football season begins, I would like to wish the South Beauregard Nights and the DeRidder Dragons a safe and successful season and a great year in the classroom. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you're in need of relocation expertise, call me at 337-348-1092. You could text Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y-E, to 85377 or visit our office at 1909 North Pine Street in DeRidder.
Southville headed over near the end zone to our right. Dragons will head into the field house celebrating a 42-13 win here in week one to open the season. Sean Martin with you. Mike Niles to my right, and Connor Rushford limping on the field out there. Somebody got to help my man out. He went out to shake hands, and he's finally got to get some help, hopefully, to the sideline. But that's one of the stories tonight. He goes down early, Mike, and the Dragons never missed a beat. Again, you have to kind of make it a collective effort when one of your players that goes down that you expect to have big production. It was Javon Fairley. I mean, he was the player of the game, I guess, if you give one out. 4 touchdowns. Nearly had a offensive, defensive, and special teams touchdown. The defensive touchdown was wiped out by a block in the back. But man, what a performance!
I know. Well, and it's like Rushford, 1,000-yard rusher last year, and he goes down.
Yeah, that's the guy who you were counting on,
and he does everything. He's on the kickoff team. He's a punter. He's running back. He could play quarterback if they need him. And again, I'm like Sean. You just hope it's nothing serious.
Absolutely. And, a lot of guys went down tonight. You hope it was just early season cramps. But, again, there was a lot of other guys. Michael Plumlee had a 1-yard touchdown run. He looked really good throwing the ball. Did have a couple interceptions. But, look, he's young. You want him to let that thing eat, and gain some confidence. And that's what you got to do. You're going to kind of ride the wave of the roller coaster. But he had a touchdown run. Grant Cooper got a touchdown run and an interception. A lot of turnovers, defensive line. DeRidder won this game in the trenches tonight. They set the tone on defense, stopping the run, and offensively, again, you put up 42 points.
That's a lot of points.
We'll take that any day of the week, especially with one of your big offensive production guys missing basically the entire game.
Yep.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Week 1 in the books. Look, like I said, South Beau's at home against Washington Marion. Dragons will take the show on the road to Manny, and we said it, they're known for the fireworks. Dragons looking to put up some fireworks of their own next week. Hopefully they can just keep rolling, and again, that'll set up a big trip to Newton. Remember last year, that game was here. They put up a ton of points there. So if the Dragons can continue to put points on the scoreboard and let the defense kind of settle in, they're looking pretty good. This is a game they had to get. We talked about last year. They go 5-5. That's the difference in probably being at home in the first round and taking an hour, 2 hour plus trip on the road.
Yep.
So for Mr. Mike Giles to my right, I am Sean Larkin. It was a pleasure getting to do my first game with you.
Well, I had a good time being with you.
I was by myself for one, and that was a playoff game. That one was fun. This is a lot of fun. Look, no scoreboard, no clock. We made it out of here alive. So join us again. Gridiron Gumbo Show will be on Today's Country 105.7 on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Obviously, you can come, and we will discuss this game along with all the games in the area. Again, whatever happened at Leesville, Sam Houston, there was an injury. Hopefully, whatever happens, that's okay, and whoever was down is okay. But it looked pretty scary. It was a pretty long delay in that one. But we are done here from Cecil Dole Memorial Stadium tonight. Final score, DeRidder Dragons 42, South Beau Nights 13. You've been listening to DeRidder Dragons football on KROK 95.7.
KROK Southport Pulse.